we've got here is a failure to communicate. Some men, you just can't. So you get what we had here last week, which is the way he wants. Well, he gets. I don't like it any more than you do. I don't like it any more than you do. Oh, no siree, Bobski, I don't. No siree. Oh! Hey! Here we go. Hey everybody, welcome. Woo! Yeah, baby. Welcome to the show. Ba-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Never had one lesson. Hey, and welcome to the show. My name is Sky Jack Morgan. I'm an independent news and culture commentator, free speech and critical thinking advocate. Thank you so much for coming in. If you don't already know, you get to go to this channel. I've got Cash App, I've got Venmo, I've got all the things. But first, you should know this is a dialectic. You can call in. It's a call-in show, baby doll. It's a call-in show. You go to morningsky.live/PYB and come and hang out with me. You can pick from the menu of topics, which are all inconvenient questions that I think are important today, whatever. But if you don't like them, that's okay. You can pick your own battle and bring your own battle. You got something you want to talk with me about? You got something that's burning a hole in your soul and you just can't wait to get out, can't get off your chest? Go ahead and let me know. Go ahead and let me know, playa. It's https://morningsky.live/PYB for pick your battles. That's the jam. We've got all sorts of things going on the menu today. I'm going to go ahead and pin those comments right here, baby doll. Oh, Bartleby, oh, humanity. Oh, Bartleby. Oh, humanity. Man. Tonight we're going to play some games. We're going to play Elysium Disco Elysium. We're going to play, what else are we going to play? Pacific Drive. It's going to be a good time. It's going to be a good time. I'm really excited about it. I think we're going to have a good time. I'm convinced that we're going to have a good time. I think so. Yeah, I went to the gym today. Did you go to the gym today? Did you make your bed today? I hope you did, baby doll. I hope you did. Because it's time to start getting into shape for the summer. You know how you get a beach body, don't you? You know how you get a beach body? You know how you do it? You get a body, and then you go to the beach. That's it. That's all you got to do. It's incredible. It's remarkable. It's wonderful. You can't believe it. What's up, Paris Kitty? The Kitty of Paris. How the heck are you? You're amazing. You know that? Did anybody tell you lately how beautiful and wonderful you are? Did anybody tell you that lately? I hope they did. I hope they did. It's so nice to be nice, isn't it? Looks like I'm coming a little blurry on the screen, but that's okay. A little blur ain't bad. I like life. Life's a little blurry, don't you think? Oh, you love me? Well, I love you. Thank you. Thank you. I need some love these days. I've been feeling kind of down, man. I've been feeling kind of down. I'm going to hit this emoji erection in the chat, drop a bunch of emojis. You scroll over the heart, and then what do you get? You get a little erection of emojis, and you can go ahead and click all of them. Just keep clicking them and clicking them. Wasteland Games, how the heck are you? I hope you're having a good day. Same here. You've been feeling down? Well, now's the time to go about. Sky's been feeling yucky. Not yucky. I've been feeling physically okay. It's just, I feel kind of sad, sometimes when you're going through a breakup, it doesn't all come at once. You got to kind of go through it. You got to hit all those Hit all those milestones on the way, you know. You got to hit all those checkpoints. There's no save. You can't save, you know. There's no saving. This is the real world. You can't. There's no save points, but there are checkpoints and milestones. You just got to get past them all. Each one of them, you know. You'll never leave me. Oh man, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you, honey child. Thank you. You'd hug me? I need a hug, for fuck's sake. Come to think of it, it's been a long time since your boys had a hug. Man, I can't wait. I need a hug. Man, that's what I need, huh? That's what I need. I don't see many. Lately, I haven't really seen many human beings. All my friends live very far away, and I don't know. I don't know. I'll probably get some hugs when on Saturday. I need to get my car, get the oil changed, and on Saturday, luckily, some kind person that promised me, I promised not to mention, but some kind person got me paid for my oil change. So now I can go to Beverly Hills and go to a screening for Cruelty for Clicks. It's a documentary, and I can't wait. My friend made it, and I can't wait. Go hug a homeless. I would, believe it or not. I've hugged homeless people in the past. I have no problem with that whatsoever. But I live in Orange County. I live in South Orange County, which is probably the least homeless friendly place. I never see a homeless person down here, man. Never. I never see a homeless person down here. Ever. Never. Because Orange County Sheriff would not allow it, ever. Is paying for roads, schools, lights, stealing? Good question, Oakwood. You should come on the show and talk about it with me. I'd love to have that conversation with you. Come on the stream. I'd love to have that conversation. You should come on this conversation with me and let me know. How is taxation theft? You know, a libertarian says taxation is theft. And they're not entirely wrong, of course. But the question that I'm asking is a little bit different. If taxation is a form of coercive extraction, does justice come from how we collect it or how we spend it? And what does Mamdani's pied-à-terre tax tell us about who decides? Who gets to decide how we spend it? And does spending it make that theft just, depending on how we spend it? Or is the manner of extraction what makes it just? Because if taxation is just theft, then is it different than a mugging? Let me ask you, is paying taxes stealing only if you elect tax and steal Democrats? Oh, well, come on the show and talk to me, Oakwood. Why do you think that? So it's okay for Republicans to tax, but not Democrats? Interesting point of view. I'd love to talk about it. Sticking around here to avoid turning into Unchained TV to see Wayne Shung's People's Press Conference coverage for doing nothing and getting people hurt. Oh, man, Mana boy. Is veganism a cult? That is the bonus question. How is veganism a cult? Huh? Oh, you're from Cali? I'm planning to move to LA. What part of LA would you like to live in? I'm from LA. I grew up in LA. I grew up in Los Angeles, and let me tell you, it's a big city. It's not for everybody. Don't you live in like Arkansas or some shit? I forget. Kansas? Arkansas, I think. Are you in Kansas or Arkansas? I can't remember. I know you're someplace down there in the dirty. But LA ain't nobody's bitch. I'll tell you that much right now. Los Angeles is it's a fun town, man, if you like it. Ding dang do. Oh, ding dang do. How you doing there, ding dang do? Yeah. No saying where taxes go. Threat of imprisonment for not paying taxes. Sounds like it might be theft. But if it's theft, how do you make it just? The Ding Dang Do is on the stream with Skyjack Morgan, the #1 news reaction show on TV, on YouTube, I mean.
My favorite show, only because it features the only person I care about, me.
Ah, yes.
We got to get some other people in here, my guy.
Well, I put out the call every day, and yet it's hard to get people to join. People are cowards, man. You saw today on the Morning Sky, that guy that's like talking. So come on the show.
He will not show.
People
what
are scared.
A coward.
You think if I were a black man wearing ears, cat ears, would that work? Maybe I wore this
Bunny
shirt.
ears?
He wears cat ears. Have you seen him, Jovan? Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know.
He does a show kind of like this. It's similar. He even has like incendiary things like Jesus is bad or whatever. I like questions more than like statements. So his is more debate broy. You might like it though. You probably would hate watch it for sure, I think.
I no, no, I don't. I tend to like a specific flavor of leftoids to bully. A
That's
grifter
nice.
leftoid's not really up my alley. I wouldn't waste my money on that. It's
You know,
just money to him.
I didn't say that. I said you might have fun watching. I don't think that you would enjoy
Oh,
supporting him. Um,
like bullying him. Oh, that's
but
what you think I'm doing? This is supporting you?
yeah,
I mean, yeah, that's one way to look at it. Yeah, I thought it was just me bullying you for being wrong.
yeah, that too. That's okay.
Maybe
You
I'm
know, I
supporting.
think they call that tough love. But Ari,
Yeah,
she's Ari gets lots of people calling in. I don't know, like, but you know, maybe because I'm a white man, people are afraid. You know, we have killed more than the rest. We have
yeah.
been very mean. Maybe that's why. Maybe it's racism against me. What do you think about my shirt, man? I designed this years ago for this
Oh,
artist I worked
goodness.
for. Huh? Huh? Oh, I couldn't hear you. All right. Well, we're going to talk about taxes today. Hopefully, we're debating about taxes. Is taxation theft? Well, New York City's Zohran Mamdani's proposal to tax high value secondary properties owned by the wealthy apartments that sit empty while the city has a housing crisis. The revenue would fund public goods. The argument: the wealthy aren't using these properties as homes, they're using them as assets. Tax the assets, spend the proceeds justly. But if taxation is theft, does just spending redeem unjust collection? Ooh, I wonder if Oakwood knows anything about that. Oakwood, do you think it's just for Zohran Mamdani to tax the asset? I don't know. Steve, I can't hear you. Why don't you go ahead and put it in the private chat when you're ready? I think something's wrong with your side. I might be able to see when if you talk. I'll see your microphone again. Yeah, I need to dig into the documentaries that explain where tax
Here.
dollars go, but it's basically a black hole. Yes, it is basically a black hole, the way I've heard it explained. Well, it's not just a black hole. I mean, it goes mostly to the military industrial complex. It goes to, you know, to $1 trillion a year goes to killing people or machines to kill people more efficiently. Do you think that that is a just use of our tax money? And if it's just for that, don't you think it's theft? I think so. You know what I'm saying? I think so. I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Is it okay to take people's money? Yeah, military eats up taxes that come from subsidized animal foods. That's right. Yeah, almost all of it. Almost all of it goes to the military, guys. Almost all of it. Some of it goes to, you know, your pals in the dairy industry and stuff, but mostly it goes toward funding wars. Carnism equals
What was
statism
the
equals.
deficit? What
Uh-huh.
was what did he need that money for? I remember he saying there was a large deficit when he took office.
There's a deficit in New York City. Yes, there's a deficit in New York City. It's like $5 billion, I think. Um, I think it's $5 billion. It's not crazy, or it's like 4.5 or $5.5 billion. There's a deficit just because of mismanagement and you know whatever. I mean, Mayor Adams, you know, had his lot of fuckery going on. Um, but he wants to fund social programs in New York City. How can he do that without extra funds? He's got to fund them somehow. You still
Well,
with me?
isn't that sort of the
Yeah.
problem with these social programs? Is that they get so top heavy, uh, you can't really fund them without taking from the middle. You know what I mean? And that sort of
Except in
evaporates the middle.
except in this case, he's not taking from the middle. He's only taxing the pied-à-terre, $5 million and up properties that are not used as primary residence. So it's pretty interesting. So the property has to be over $5 million. It has to be not someone's property, and it only affects not someone's primary residence, and it only affects 59,000 properties in New York City. and he's going to raise $500 million a year by taxing it.
Well, it sucks to be those people, I guess. Sell those fucking properties, right?
Well, I don't know. If they sell them, great, but someone's still going to have to pay taxes on them. In the meantime, what do we got? We got $500 million to fund childcare in New York City. And the people who are so rich that they have $248 million apartment, like Ken Griffin, he owns a $248 million apartment in New York City. It's getting taxed as a pied-à-terre. And you think he's going to notice the little tax? It's a minor tax. It's a couple percentage points, too. Welcome to the show, Wasteland Games.
Howdy, how you doing?
Kicking like a three-legged ninja. How you doing?
The most beautiful woman I've ever heard. Yeah. We've missed you.
Okay,
we have missed
asshole.
you. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Let's go. What's on your mind, Wasteland Games?
I don't know, I was just seeing what we could discuss, coming up here.
Well, there's a lot going on. I've got a menu on the screen. Hold on, I'll put myself at the top really quickly. The menu on the screen is: how does greed destroy democracy? How is taxation theft? Why are you okay with the wars? Why do you blame brown people for white crimes? How is veganism a cult? Is the bonus question.
I guess how taxation is theft, I suppose. I mean, I have a more, I guess, I don't know. I have mixed feelings on taxation.
Yeah, I think all of us do. I think that the black and white libertarian just saying, "Oh, it's all one way," that it's like this it's all theft is a little ridiculous.
I want my tax dollars going to funding schools and libraries and fixing the potholes in the road.
Yeah.
I don't want it going to Netanyahu's pocket or to all these rich people so they can party on Epstein Island.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't want to. It doesn't really go directly to them, but yeah, it does fund them for sure. How about wars, endless wars in the Gulf states? How do you like that? Or overthrowing governments in South America? Should my tax dollars go through government in South America? But here's the premise. All right, taxation. The state extracts it without genuine consent. The wealthy use legal structures to avoid it, while the poor can't. Revenue funds wars, prisons, and surveillance, not people. The burden falls hardest on those with the least power to resist, and the process is controlled by those it's supposed to. It's supposed to tax. It's controlled by the people it's supposed to tax, the rich. But the problem is, so that means it's theft, right? But can it redeem itself?
Mm-hmm. Provided it's going to what it should be going to instead of, the military spending budget.
Yeah, so can theft be redeemed if the tax is redistributing genuinely, like through housing, healthcare, and schools, like you said, or if it targets hoarding or if it targets hoarding rather than labor? Right now, it targets labor, which is fucking crazy because we need labor, and yet it doesn't target the hoarders. We don't need hoarders. It breaks what if it breaks the feedback loop of wealth, power, and policy? And then there's also the pied-à-terre model that Zohran Mamdani is introducing, which is taxing idle assets and not working people.
I like that idea.
I think it's got the overwhelming majority of people in New York support. 93% support it in, or is it 97%? Something like that. It's in the 90s. 90% approval rating in New York City. It's fucking, I've never heard of anything 97%. After 9/11, George W. Bush didn't have 97% approval.
Yeah.
And amongst the right, because that sounds like something the dissident right would go for as well. That sounds like something that my kind of guys would like, but.
Well, Joe Scarborough has been singing its praises, which is funny because like MS Now and CNN, they were shitting on Mamdani, and now they're all stoked all of a sudden. It's very weird about face. Like all of a sudden, all those liberal assholes or liberal Republicans, they were all shitting on Zohran Mamdani, and now everyone's his friend.
That's interesting. That is very interesting. Yeah, you can tell a lot about a policy by who supports it, but I would like to see the demographic breakdown of that 90%, just to see. Maybe we're blind to it. I don't know, but yeah, nobody's liking the fucking rich people right now. Yeah.
No, yeah, I
good.
mean, everyone wants to kill the rich, but the fact that New York, a very diverse city, right? It's extremely diverse. 90% of anything. If you got 90% of New Yorkers to agree on anything, they can't even agree on whether scaffolding should come down, right? Have you ever been to New York City? It sucks. Everything is covered in scaffolding. And yet, they can't agree with how to get rid of the scaffolding. Like, New York looks like shit. It's an ugly city now. It used to be beautiful. When I was a kid, it was beautiful. Today, it's hideous, and it's mostly because
The next time one of these right wingers goes up, I'll pose the question to see if we like it or not. I'm not quite sure. I think it's a great idea. Fuck rich people.
It's only taxing a very small 59,000 units in New York City, and they're going to raise $500 million a year. That's like, imagine a few of those units must be owned by the same dudes, right? But at the end of the day, 59,000 units of property being taxed as pied-à-terre is why it's like, it's such a small percentage of people. That's exactly who we want to target. It sounds like he found a very creative way that has been used. It's not like he invented this, right? But he found a creative way to go after the very, very top echelon. If you can afford a fucking apartment that you don't live in New York City, that's a problem, right? Like, I can barely afford where I live. Anybody with me?
I have the other side of the coin. I think it was in Florida or Virginia or VA rather, where the Republicans made a tax exemption for boats. So it's kind of like the opposite side of that, right? So
yeah, they make all these exceptions for yachts and if you own a golf course, then you have a couple houses on it. You can deduct it from the square footage of your property and not be taxed. That's what Donald Trump did, right? He got caught.
It was boat loan interest.
Yeah.
So forgiveness or something like that. Like you can write off the interest on boat loans. So that's obviously keyed up for a very specific slice of the demographic, which is just boomers stealing from young people. Again.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's fascinating how many people are agreeing with this. But does that change the mantra that it's theft? Does it redeem itself?
No. It's still shitty, but I mean, at least it's not me getting fucked this time. Holy hell, that's
is that the only thing it is? Like, is this a Robin Hood situation? Like, if Robin Hood robs the rich and gives to the poor, it makes it sound okay, right? Yeah, but it's still theft, and in the eyes of the law, they still want to kill Robin Hood, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how is a libertarian? What's a libertarian boy to do? Or an anarchist like me?
Libertarians are clowns, and they should never be made happy because they're like the worst type of human being ever. So
I think they're
more
so just misguided.
Well, they're fed up usually, right? They're fed up. They're tired, sick and tired of the state, and they're sick and tired of everyone telling them what to do. But okay, what about an anarchist? Like, I don't like the state using threats of violence to take away anything from anybody, but here we are. I'm supporting this. Am I a hypocrite?
Wouldn't an anarchist have a more grounded worldview in terms of like how he plays against the government and shit like that? So it's like, instead of a libertarian wanting the government to give up the ring of power, the anarchist realizes it needs to be destroyed. Something like that.
Something like that. Yes. So I was going to say class warfare. I think the way it works is that it to me it counts as class warfare. That the class war started when the wealthy wrote the tax code in the first place, and Mamdani's just proposing to show up to a fight that's been happening without us for this whole time. Like, he's just showing up for once. Like, there's a fight going on. We're in the corner getting beaten to death by the rich, and Zohran Mamdani shows up and punches him in the nose for just a tiny little bit, a tiny little hit back. And it's like, it seems pretty good to me because we're in a class warfare. I choose class solidarity before race solidarity or gender solidarity or anything else. Class solidarity first and foremost.
Fully agree with you.
Nice. Taxation is theft. Libertarians are complete hypocrites, paying $20 to $300 a pound of heavily subsidized meat to fund the war machine. Interesting, Mana Boy. I think libertarians want to libertarians count the market. They think the market is they believe in this kind of woo market bullshit because they don't understand, macroeconomics, and taxation is what's funding. You're right, mana boy. But still, here we are. Class warfare happens whether you participate or become class conscious or not, says Taylor Westmore. Exactly. So is what Mamdani doing class war? He's using the master's tools to tear down the master's house. Am I going to have egg on my face because I talk so much shit about Bernie Sanders and Zohran Mamdani? Are they going to show me up? Am I going to be embarrassed by all the shit I talked on them?
Well, I mean, even I don't particularly like the idea of all those social programs without strict guidelines over the top of them, right? But even I would say that if it's a winning or if it's a W, the W, right?
I mean, at the end of the day, people, you've said many times that you like kids. You think kids should have a fair chance. Isn't childcare in New York City? He wants free childcare for every New York City resident, every child in New York, free childcare. That's not going to come cheap. $500 million a year, though, could do it. Maybe. How many kids are there? How many children require childcare? How many children actually require it? Because that could be a very small number, actually. But we don't really know how
free, I hear low quality.
Well, yeah, it's always going to be bare minimum, right? But you'd be surprised. I lived in Europe where a lot of their regular services are pretty sick. You know what I mean? Japan, same way. I lived in Japan. A lot of their government services are sick. You hear low quality because what happens in America generally, they start these social programs, and then somebody else gets in office, and they forget, how did we pay for this again? Let's cut taxes to the rich. And then the social programs continue to go on, but they're underfunded. That's what normally happens in America. Like insane asylums or what do they call them? Sanitariums existed before Reagan. They existed during Reagan too, but Reagan was cutting funding to them. And so they kind of struggled for a while and petered out, and they looked like horror shows right before they all closed. You know? You got to keep funding it. Hell yeah, bring them back, says Captain Howdy. Maybe
bring
we
back
need to...
sanitariums? What?
Yeah. I mean, I think we need to have mental health. I mean, I think what's crazy, I watch some right-wing stuff, and I see right-wing guys, every time there's a shooter, and even right now there was a shooter in New Orleans, and they're like, oh, every American should have free access to mental health care. Okay. How are you going to pay for that? We got to tax the rich. Oh, no, we can't tax the rich. That's theft. We know where the money is. It's being hoarded by the billionaires. It's being given from us to the billionaires and the military-industrial complex. That's all we got to do.
Yeah, but I don't feel like bringing back sanitariums would help with the mental health crisis. Yeah.
Well, maybe not in the form that they were back in the 70s or whatever, but something similar, something where people could go.
Beyond that. Well, I mean, even beyond that, they were always pretty terrible.
They weren't always pretty terrible. When they were funded, they did quite well. I mean, lots of people were in sanitariums and were doing great, and they would check in and check out. A lot of people, like, if you felt suicidal, you went to the sanitarium, checked yourself in. They hooked you up with 3 hots and a cot for a few days. And they're like, all right, you seem like you're pretty good now. Get the fuck out of here. It wasn't so bad.
There's this one down in there's this one that was down in Tuscaloosa, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember hearing like so many just horror stories coming out of it, about it. And this it operated from like I don't know, before World War II to the 60s, and just how terrible it was. So I don't know.
There were some that were like that, especially like the insane asylums. I mean, the DeJarnett Center. A lot of those places ended up like eugenics places where they would force castration and stuff like that and lobotomies. But that's that's like science from literally 100 years ago, right? This is 100 years old.
Well, not 100 years ago.
What about
they were doing the 60s?
They lasted till the 60s. That means they stayed horror stories where they were cutting off people's nuts and giving lobotomies in the 1960s.
Yeah, I mean,
What
they,
would have been the
lobotomized
prescription for the guy who stabbed up
Kennedy's
the white girl?
Well, actually, I'll
Kennedy's
tell you.
sister or something.
Oh yeah, they did lobotomize her, huh? Caroline Kennedy, I think her name was.
Yeah.
The guy that stabbed Irina Shchurska, imagine a world where he got medication, bro. I mean, it'd be so easy. He'd have antipsychotic medication. If he felt like he was on the skids, he can show up at a place fucking freaking out, and then professionals would know how to handle it. And most people do self-diagnose and self-report. That's what's so crazy. There are people struggling right now who all they need is someone that they can reach out to. And we're not even funding the suicide. We have a national suicide hotline that's not being funded right now. We have all sorts of things like these lifelines for people so they don't do the shit that we're afraid of, like what happened to Irina. Imagine a world where he was in a big city. Wasn't he in Charlotte? Like he could go walk to a place and be like, I'm fucking freaking out. I'm hearing voices. Shit, I don't know, man. I'm fucking freaking. And they're like, okay, Mr. So-and-so, we're going to put you in a room. We're going to watch you. Here's some meds.
Assume for a moment that he never seeked out the help and he was just violent. So where do we catch him at felony 7 or 8 or 9? Or we have
That's
to
a
wait
great
until
question.
felony 14?
Wonderful question. So again, if the judge had an ability at that point during a felony, and a judge could be like, this guy's geeking out in the courtroom, I'm going to order a psych evaluation, and maybe we can get him into a different track, get him on a different track, and maybe that track ends up in lifetime convalescence. Maybe, who knows? But whatever that track is, it's not going to be towards killing a lady on a bus. You know what I mean?
Well,
it's going to be towards something else, trying to help that person.
The thing is like we have systems now where we could have taken him off of the streets, got him the help he needs. Like the 14th time he commits a felony, he's not able to stand trial. But the 14 times before that, he is.
Well, they weren't all felonies, first of all, so that's not accurate.
Well, he couldn't have trial for all. Well, just assume that they are. He's had enough violence in his life to. He
had some skirmishes and some shit with the police, and I remember reading his rap sheet. It was all just like pretty minor stuff. It wasn't killing anybody, for example. And at any moment, if we had a system where it wasn't a for-profit jailhouse system, like what the fuck is it? What are they supposed to do? Put him in jail forever as a common prisoner for doing what? Yelling at a police officer late at night? And
that would have been the moral choice. Yes.
That's not legal choice. Yeah.
Sorry.
Can we be honest here? If this woman was Mexican, you wouldn't care.
What difference does that make? At the end of the day, that's
the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard. Shut the fuck up, you retarded leftward. Fuck you.
Stop.
Hold on.
What is it?
Quit yelling.
Anger.
What I'm saying is, all these right-wingers keep bringing up this horrific situation, but if it was a Mexican immigrant instead of a Ukrainian immigrant, they wouldn't care.
But that's beside the point, because at the end of the day, what we're talking about is whether or not this country should have, if we're going to tax people, we should do something with that money, and giving it to billion-dollar corporations to build for-profit prison systems so that judges' hands are tied and they don't have any place to put people that just don't belong in Gen Pop with actual criminals. Like if actual real criminals that are like a totally different breed than this guy who's clearly off the rails, off his meds, off his rocker. Like, the judge needs other tools in the tool belt. Instead, they want to blame the judge. Why don't you throw him away and lock away the key? Well, because that's not legal. He didn't do anything bad enough to throw him in and lock away the key. But he did do something bad enough that maybe he could have gone a psych evaluation. Maybe he could have gone to a psych ward. Maybe they could have held him a little while, even against his will. They could have held him a little while and tried to find some other path for this guy, then stick him back out in the streets and have him kill anybody, Mexican or white, doesn't fucking matter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm agreeing with you there. I was just bringing it up because I keep seeing right-wingers bringing up this specific situation, but,
They do, because it caught their imagination. Like, and I understand why it caught their imagination. It's a pretty horrific video. It's a pretty young white girl getting killed by a homeless black dude. Like,
Well, I hope for your sake that it's a black woman next time. Does that make you fucking feel better, bro? No,
do
nobody
you mean, black
deserves
woman?
that.
Someone's pissy today.
Nobody deserves
Yeah,
that. You're right.
okay. No, I remember exactly. There was several Hispanic females that that the politicians were putting up in their posts of young people that victimized by illegal immigrants. So he's talking shit. He's just talking about the tribalism of the non-establishment right going haywire, which it did, which is entirely justified. You see a tribe member stabbed to death by another tribe member, something primal goes off in the brain. Boo hoo. Okay, cry about it, Tranny.
Well, also the media. No, come on.
Damn,
we don't need the
someone's
slurs.
busy.
We don't need the slurs. What are we doing here? Is that what the show's going to be about? Slurs back and forth? She's going to get me
Back and
demonetized
forth.
and
I ain't
canceled?
said anything.
No, I mean, but at the end of the day, the damn the mainstream media, they do overreport white girls getting killed. Every summer there's a white girl who ends up dead and they all make a big deal about it, while a bunch of black girls went missing and they don't say shit. So there is something there, but I don't know that it matters when we're talking about taxation, guys.
Yeah.
I don't know that matters when we're talking about whether or not tax is theft. This is a red herring. This is what I mean. It's always these culture wars that gets people all riled up and breaks up the class solidarity. We should have class solidarity and not racial.
Well, I didn't know we were like sticking directly to the topic. I thought we were just letting it go where it went.
No, but it's like we could go wherever we want, guys. But I mean, like, we were talking about whether or not we
should throw black people in prison with tax dollars.
We should throw mentally handicapped people in prison.
Right. Well,
I mean, he was having a schizophrenic episode
on that one. So whatever we did wrong, because we had opportunities and we had clear warning signs and we failed to act as a society. So if it happens again, we're going to have to change things.
We defunded all the avenues, all the roads that we would have sent him down. There are no roads to send him down. It's kind of like
I'll agree with you.
It's a lot like immigration, because, you got a problem with immigration? Great. You don't like mass immigration? Fine. You don't like illegal immigration? Fine. Well, then we need to have an infrastructure and a means by which we actually do legally assess asylum seekers quickly and also have legal paths to citizenship. But we've eroded all of those. We've destroyed all of them. So now there is no really legal way to get, unless you're whoring yourself out and selling yourself to you're a Filipino girl that wants to sell herself to an American to get a green card. Unless you do shit like that, there's no way to get here except for asylum, and you roll the dice, or sneak. Like, I don't know how to put it even more clearly, right?
If it's at our expense, though, it's like
it's our country. It's always going to be at our expense.
Yeah. Like, think about the girl that was chased down and beat over the head with a rock. We betrayed her trust in us. She thought it was safe to go run in her neighborhood at night. It was not. Why? Because we failed at doing our job to protect her.
Yes, Laken Riley was killed because society failed her. Yes, I totally agree with you. Wow. Completely agree. It wasn't that immigrants are bad or any kind of racial bullshit. It was because we as a society failed to protect her, and she thought she was safe, and she wasn't. Where was that? Was that Texas? I forget where Laken Riley was. It was south of New York, because what happened was the Texan governor sent the dude who killed her to New York City as a joke. Remember that? He was one of those people that he sent up there as a joke, and he was stuck up there, and then he started hitchhiking and making his way down south to get back to Texas where his family was, and he ended up killing her in cold blood one day. I mean, like, it's so fucked up. So many things went wrong in order to get to that.
Yeah, and one of them is not letting dumb white people be upset that there's so many unvetted people coming in and flooding their society.
Georgia. She was in Georgia. Well, if you don't want people flooding in, then we have to have a better infrastructure to handle people as they come. Like, that's
Or a
always going to
wall.
be the answer. But instead, what you want to do, not you, but instead what Americans want to do is give more money to the police, give more money to the guys with guns, give more money to the military, and it's fucking killing us. It's killing us.
How would a wall fix anything?
What?
Oh, I was asking him, since he said a wall, how would a wall fix anything? Most of them don't even come in through the,
A wall? How would a wall fix anything?
Well, whatever happened when Trump got in? Yeah, whenever Trump got in, the border encounter rates are dropped. So whatever happened, whatever he did worked.
Encounter rates.
He didn't even build the damn thing.
Well, it is built. I looked it up. It's like 100 feet a day or something. It is being built. It's just slow, of course, because like everything, it's a big operation. Smart wall and the whole thing. Now they want a smart
Well, they've
wall.
been talking about building this thing and said they were starting on it when I was a little kid. It's still not finished.
Yeah, I don't know how it's like a weird argument saying that if he wasn't allowed into the country, he wouldn't have been able to murder that girl. Is that not factual, or am I not liberal enough to understand the logic behind?
Okay,
this?
so I think it's just a little oversimplified is all I'm saying. You could say, yeah, well, I guess if his mom had died, then Laken Riley would still be alive too, right? Because he would never have been born. But it's just it's a little simplistic to look at it that way. A lot of shit went wrong. The guy came across the country. He came across the border. He was scooped up. I think he came across as an asylum seeker. I can't remember. And then he was scooped up by Greg Abbott and sent to New York City against his will. So he was trafficked. And then,
Asylum. So he was seeking asylum from not being able to murder a white girl, or what? Because
No,
this
he was
sounds like some shit where this is kind of your fault again, maybe a little bit.
Why is it my fault?
The asylum system. This
the
sort of
asylum
idea that you can come in and say magic words and then that you're automatically an American until we can find time in a court system to throw
because
you out.
when one guy does something bad, the whole system's rotten. Okay.
I mean, the system does suck, though. The system is the reason why it's so funny, because you say, oh, well, you say magic words and then you become an American until we have time to process you. Okay, shorten that time to process you. How do we do that? We hire more lawyers and judges. We make the docket 24 hours. We start processing people very quickly. Our foreign policy and our climate policy, frankly, is what's causing all these asylum seekers, and yet we aren't prepared. We never do our fucking homework. And because we don't do our homework, when it comes test time, we fail. We failed Laken Riley, and we failed him too. Who was the murderer? I'm trying to look up his name, but the murderer was also, here he is, the perpetrator, and Jose Antonio Ibarra. Yeah, he was an asylum seeker from Venezuela. That's right. He did enter. Sorry. Not an asylum seeker. He entered the United States illegally via the United States-Mexico border to El Paso. And then he was apprehended by federal authorities and released into the country. And he stayed at the Roosevelt Hotel in New York. He was sent to New York by Greg Abbott. And then he tried to get down to Texas, where he boarded a flight to Georgia, where his brother lived, because he was trying to be there with his family. He lived in a complex about a mile away, and from the Woodland area where Riley's body was found. He had previously been arrested by both federal and state officials in multiple jurisdictions. In 2023, Ibarra was arrested in New York City on charges of acting in a manner to injure a child less than 17 and a motor vehicle license violation, driving without a license, for driving a scooter without a license, and had a child who was not wearing a helmet. So, I mean, it sounds worse than it was. I stated, so what have they done? He was driving without a license, and a kid was on the scooter without a license. Should he have gone to jail forever? I stated that New York City police released him before a detainer could be issued, and then he fled to Athens, and he was arrested down there on theft for reportedly possessing stolen merchandise from a local Walmart. There you go. And then they found blood on his jacket in a dumpster near his apartment.
Definitely, when somebody comes here and they start doing that stuff, definitely let them stay for 5 more years until we can really sort out if he belongs here or not. Definitely. Sounds like a great idea.
She was killed in, so that was 2022 and 2023. He got 2 arrests. One was kind of bullshit, and the second one was having stolen stuff from Walmart. He may or may not have done it himself. She was killed in 2024. It was 1 year, dude. 1 year. So, I mean, like...
It would have taken me all of 5 seconds to make that decision, but you would say, oh, it's racism. Well, at least I would have protected poor Laken Riley from what you said was good enough pay, I guess, maybe.
It takes a while because everything's underfunded.
Well, that's the problem. Everything's underfunded. Maybe he should have had his hearing about whether or not he could stay. They didn't want to send him back to Venezuela because they were afraid he was going to get killed there. Shoplifting isn't a big enough crime, even though he wasn't caught shoplifting. He was caught in possession of shoplifted merchandise from Walmart. So sending him to a possible death sentence, that's something that maybe a judge should be able to go through and decide, but he never got that chance. A judge never got that chance.
That's crazy. I would say we could train up a Chat GPT version to reject these guys immediately.
Or we could just use our stop spending $1 trillion on killing Iranians and start spending money on dealing with problems that we have right here, right now. Because the thing is, Steve, I agree that it's a problem. I agree that we have a mass migration problem that we fucking started. We caused that problem, but it doesn't matter because now they're here, they're coming, and we should have the fucking brains. We have the money, but we don't have the brains to put that money into the process. We promise them due process because that's our way of life. That's the fucking lowest bar of a democracy, of a republic. We have them. They're coming here mostly due to our fuckery. Now they're here. What are we going to do about it? Right now, the answer is nothing. We're just going to let them stay until something either goes horribly wrong or we get around to addressing it. Like, that doesn't seem sufficient to me. And rounding them up and separating families and beating people and killing people in the street and killing American citizens over this doesn't seem like a solution to me either. We have a solution. It's the obvious one. Fund the fucking courts and the goddamn and the lawyers, the immigration lawyers. Get these people through the system. There should be a 24 that courtroom should be open 24/7.
You would only do that if you actually want to remove them, and the system doesn't. So, I mean, that sounds too reasonable.
I don't care. I
don't want them removed.
I don't believe in borders, so that's one thing. But if you're going to say that we're going to remove, that's the law of the land, that we're going to remove them if they don't belong here, right? That's the law. Everyone agrees. Okay. Then if we're gonna follow the law, then you have to have the mechanism to fucking execute that law. But we're not, and that's fucked. And Laken Riley's dead because of it. Like, I don't know. It's like, it's so frustrating to me, man, because it's like, for some reason, Americans have such a fucking amnesia with this stuff. Like, let's go back to the Middle East and kill people again, because that'll take our mind off of all our problems that we have at home. How about this? Why don't we tend our own garden and use the money that we have to make our country beautiful again? How about that?
Well, you're in luck. There's this guy called Nick Fuentes, and that seems to be his goal.
Oh, God, no.
We're good to go.
You know what's funny? Every once in a while,
that
Nick
midget.
Fuentes, he is a little shorty. Another slur, though. Midget's a slur.
I didn't know that.
They don't like being called that shit. Look, man, it's funny. Every once in a while, I see Nick Fuentes. I'm like, man, that guy's starting to sound like he makes a little sense. I wish he would talk like that more instead of all this racial bullshit. Because he's so close sometimes to understanding class solidarity, and then he abandons it because I guess it doesn't sell enough tickets. It doesn't get his gooners hard enough or something. So he'll talk about race instead.
Well, leftoids aren't knocking down the door to give him $500 super chats every day, so go figure that Wasteland Games doesn't have money to throw at him to move his needle anywhere.
I mean, we have the money. We just don't have the political will. America thirsts for blood because blood was sold as a lifestyle in the 30s by Sigmund Freud's nephew. Okay.
Look, I mean, I'd debate Nick Fuentes if he was open to it.
I don't think Nick Fuentes is going to be debating anyone. He doesn't debate.
I mean, I debated Bert Colucci, the leader of the National Socialist Movement. So,
He's Yeah, he banned you, right? He banned you from Twitter. All right, everybody, this is a
blocked me on
call-in
Twitter.
show. If you'd like to call in and pick something from the menu, that's great. But if you have something, the BYOB, bring your own battle, please call in. We're talking about all sorts of stuff. Lawless Outlaw, pew, 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 Jason Boo. Lawless Outlaw, hey, man, lawlessness at this point might be the damn, answer, honestly. They're not on the res. David Bork, interesting. Reservations have problems too. Lots of. I drove through a bunch of reservations a couple of years ago, and man, they got billboards about fighting child trafficking because a lot of natives are a lot of native children end up in the cycle. They end up in a system that extracts a lot from them, exploits them. Mm-hmm. Your
That's
far more
kind of
likely-
interesting.
What's that?
Sorry.
Is that white people's fault, or
Okay.
I'm not sure?
It's the
Is that the
government's
white man's
fault.
fault?
It's the state's
Government.
fault.
It's the
Which,
state.
you know, I guess historically, I guess you could blame white people, but today I think you'd blame the state at this point. But I guess there's enough blame to go around. But right now, I think the genocide just isn't over. I think the genocide is still very active against Native Americans. So,
The casino money and the
Trying to get-
firewater, is that?
casino money and firewater. Casino money, of course, they only have to own 51%. Who owns the other 49%? You think with those casinos? And then when you have the firewater, of course, they do have a problem with alcoholism, but so does every poor population. They got alcoholism problems. But how come every poor population has alcohol problems and gambling problems and the rest, but only the Native Americans have such a high likelihood of their children being taken away and put into foster care? It's bizarre what happens and what we're doing. Yeah.
I saw something recently, Sky. A group, I think it was an NGO, an American NGO, went and did IQ tests in Kenya. Would you like to know their results?
I already know that.
I'm gonna make some bullshit up, but okay.
Poverty, and
This
it's
is
not making
bullshit.
up. IQ is directly affected by lack of nutrition and poverty. Like this, we already know this. We know that within a few years, not even a generation, with an infusion of cash and nutrition, IQs go up. They're directly correlated. So I mean,
All
like, yeah, you could do that with anybody. Go to rural America. I know this is going to sound horrible, but you go to rural America and there's a lot to be said about why they talk so slow
Well,
down there.
I asked
Well, we-
ChatGPT to compare the percentage of white people with a 103 IQ compared to the Kenyans with a 103 IQ or above, right? And it's 3% of Kenyans have a 103 or above IQ. So these people would need to be so malnutritious that you would expect most of that population to die before reaching adulthood, because they would have to be so malnutritious. They would have to have a lack of calories that would be deadly in white populations for them
It's
to
not
have the same
malnutrition. It's
level.
not malnutrition. It's poor nutrition.
And
Poor
I
nutrition.
did it with
Look,
poor
lead
nutrition,
as
hold on.
well.
poverty.
so
I can
white
invite them.
people
to
you need
on, but I
lead,
know a girl.
exposure in the environment, and
People know-
extreme malnourishment to get the same level of IQ differences. Like, it has to be like the worst conditions on planet Earth for white people to have the 3% of their population at 103 or above. So,
Like, you can bring up
you know,
statistics,
okay.
but not lived experience. I know a woman from Kenya who's probably smarter than me.
There's a lot of
Sure.
smart people
Personal
from
talk.
Kenya. They usually have money. The people with money have higher
know
IQs.
she's broke.
She's broke by American standards, I'm guessing, huh? Does she have a
Well,
refrigerator?
by her standards, that's why she's a communist.
Does she have a refrigerator?
I don't know. I'll ask her then.
She lives in America.
No, she lives in Kenya.
Oh. The idea of IQ being this, first of all, this IQ thing, but they've already done this. They've studied this IQ shit to death. rural Americans in the South after the war had IQs before they just had intelligence levels down in the basement, and they blamed it on the hookworm, lack of nutrition, and poverty, because people in the South were going to the latrines and the outhouses in their bare feet because people just didn't wear shoes down in the South. People didn't shoe their kids, and so they got hookworm, and the hookworm fucked with their brains, and they talked all slow and slack-jawed, and people thought it was just a Southern cultural thing, but no, they were actually genuinely afflicted by poverty, lack of education, lack of nutrition, and the hookworm, some kind of parasite. I'm not sure what's going on in Kenya, but that's the first place I'd look. And
because it has to be the environment, and it has to be white people's fault. Otherwise, you can't have race communism.
No, it's
if we're not all blank
it's
slates.
not about it being white people's fault.
Colonialism.
Colonialism's look. It's not about being white people's fault. It's just this is what causes that. It's like like it's always we have the science is in nutrition, health, and education, and having enough money greatly increases your IQ, directly affects it.
But you would need so much neurotoxin and a malnutrition for a white population to reach the same level of low IQ as the Kenyans. So you can't explain that with environment alone.
It's not. Look, man, it's all going to be about environment. It's not. They've done.
Yeah, it's because it can't be anything else. You can't allow it to be. No,
then why is it? Then why are you comparing it to geography? How come you're not comparing it to just African Americans or rich black people? Like, if you take people on the same socioeconomic status and you give them the same test, they perform similarly. It's all look, dude. Like, I went to school with black people in my college campus. Like, there's smart black people getting the same grades. Once you get opportunity, you end up with the same shit. Unfortunately, they end up in hierarchies and they still end up acting just like the master did, but that's not what this IQ thing, it's been debunked over and over and over again. Race does not affect your IQ.
Well, that's just not true. So sorry, bro.
It's not.
All right, Adolf. Next, you're going to be comparing skull shapes.
Well, that's actually you. That's that's where you have to take it, because you can't allow even the slightest pinprick in your ideology when it comes to essentially the flat Earth of race. Everyone is flat. Everyone is exactly the same. See, if there's even the slightest pinprick in your that's that may be morally under the eyes of God, but no. No, there's certain groups of humans that can drink arsenic-laced water from mountains, right? That they evolved that trait, that ability, right?
They resolve it. They
okay, but
tolerance.
IQ has not.
That's not IQ an IQ thing. People in Peru. Go ahead.
IQ has not changed, like, depending on geography or anything like that. Like, it's.
People in
I don't know how to explain it.
People in Peru have big barrel chests because they live at higher altitudes. That doesn't affect. Doesn't mean that you're born with a different. You're not born with a different brain. You're not born with different IQs. Differences in average IQ scores have been observed between racial groups, but scientific consensus indicates these gaps are driven by environmental, socioeconomic, and educational forces, not genetics. IQ tests measure acquired skills like literacy, test-taking ability, which are heavily influenced by quality of schooling, poverty, and environmental factors. Just the ability to take a test. Just like, how many years did I have to be forced to sit in a chair and learn how to take tests? I had to take the Golden State exam every year. I had to take the practice SAT. Every year they made me take that fucking practice SAT. I had to learn how to fill out those but they trained me like a fucking dog. And so that when it came time to take the real SAT test, I sat down like a good little boy and I took it without stress at all. I scored well.
It's fine. It's fine, bro. I believe the Earth is flat as well.
That's bullshit. Scientific consensus is that training someone to take tests increases their test scores. Training people how to literacy, training people on literacy, that's something that you acquire. These are skills that anybody can learn. And if you grow up in a situation where you don't have them,
All it measures is your adaptive IQ. It's a basic. It's the Raven Matrix, brother. It's basically how it's. There's no words. There's no
There's got to be
anything.
instruction.
Anything
There
with
has
a
to be
brain can do
instruction.
this.
Someone has to instruct them how to do it, right?
Right. And if you're so dumb, essentially, you can't take basic instructions of how many lines the lines on pattern 1 match up to pattern 2, something like that. You know what I mean? It's you should be able to intuit these things.
It's so I feel like it's just like I can't believe there's still people pushing this line of thinking. Like we have people in our own American history, people who were able to rise because of basic nutrition and education, were able to seize the opportunities. People like Frederick Douglass and E.B. Du Bois, people like Paul Laurence Dunbar. Like these people stood up and overcame things because they were offered the most modest of opportunity in the time of slavery. Some of them. And like,
sure.
And yet people are still going about, oh, well, you know, race is what separates us. Class is what separates us. I don't get how you keep going back to race solidarity rather than class solidarity. You have so much more in common with the poor working black man than you do with the rich white man.
Right, but if I can't account for these differences, then I have no natural defense against. Yeah, that's the flat earth.
Rich and poor. No, Steve, the difference is rich and poor. There is a difference. It's rich versus poor. It's always been rich versus poor. The reason why the Southerners had hookworm and it was infecting their brain, and everyone in the North thought that everyone in the South was stupid, that they were like animals down there. And the Southerners, they just couldn't afford shoes. And then once they all got shoes,
you're not going to let the difference
there's no difference
between North Koreans and South Koreans.
The only difference between race,
the difference between IQ and the North Koreans who are systemically impoverished and terribly malnourished versus South Koreans.
There's a huge
difference.
The
difference. There is nothing that explains the difference between North Koreans and Kenyans other than race. Nothing at all.
Hold on a second. Then why do South Koreans have higher scores than North Koreans?
Tell me. It's because the one portion of this argument that you have correct is not the entirety of the answer.
Except it's a really good example. You brought it up.
Dystopians.
You brought it up, and South Koreans are ranked number 1 in IQ tests. Number 1. North Korea, they're like 75. They're 30% lower. 30% lower than South Korea. What's the difference? Except for nutrition and education.
What's the difference between me and a guy at an IQ of 70 is about 50%.
No, you're talking about larger groups. Larger groups of the average. The average in North Korea is 75, even though they're genetically identical to the South Koreans, and the South Koreans are at 106 or 7, number 1 in the world.
Yes.
That's so.
There's no reliable data for North Korean IQ tests. South Korea's about 106.
Estimates vary up to about 30%, 30 points lower in North Korea.
And now compare the average of North Korea as we know it to Kenya.
We don't.
67.
South
50.
Korea versus Kenya would just be like connecting South Korea against any poor country. Connect them to any fucking poor country.
North Korea, where we know their conditions are so bad, the height difference as well. We can see that
doesn't North Korea have subsidized higher education?
What the fuck is this?
Hold on, Kenyan IQ average around 75. It's the same as North Korea. Dude, Kenya has the same average IQ as North Korea. So compare South Korea to anyone else. South Korea is the number 1. Compare them to any poor country, and you'll probably see similar discrepancies.
I saw 67, but even so.
I'm looking at Dr. Lin and Becker placed them around 75.2, while more recent online assessments from 2024 international IQ tests suggest higher average at about 91%. So it seems like there's a few times that Kenya has been studied because of nutrition, because of their famine. In 2001, it was at 65. In 2000, later in 2001, 72. In Nairobi, they recorded an average of 75. In Embu in 1998, they recorded 79.6 as a mean average. So it seems like it's still low. I mean, it's under 80. It's low. But I guess that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter the exact number of Kenyan IQ. What matters is that if you compare the one of the richest countries in the world, the number one IQ in the world, South Korea, on average, the number one, and you compare them to any poor, if you compared South Korea to fucking Louisiana, I bet you'd see similar distances of similar differences of IQ
Arkansas
averages.
or Mississippi, both of those are white states, and
I'm just gonna look up Arkansas
low
because
IQs.
Arkansas is real white. Like Louisiana's got a lot of black people. So let's see, Arkansas. I've been to Arkansas, super white. Arkansas average IQ. Okay, let's see. Let's just see if they've tested it. Average IQ. They're in 42nd place in America. They're 97.5. They're almost at the bottom of our country, though. 97.5. The scores are based on studies analyzing state-level cognitive abilities, with the national average typically centered at 100. They are below average. Their rank is 42. So still higher than Kenya, still higher than North Korea, but that would make sense because in Arkansas they're not malnourished, right? So I mean, it makes
they're
sense.
white. No,
Oh,
that's not the part. Yeah,
Well, I
can't
mean,
have any difference.
well, they're
It's gotta
definitely
be
not
flat earth.
malnourished. They're all fat.
I'm actively rejecting this idea that it's race. If I
I
told you,
never said
but
it's.
hold on.
I never said it's all race. No, that's not what I said. I said
you're-
that there's a difference.
You seem to be suggesting that that's the biggest factor. Or is that what you're
It's half
suggesting, or
of
am
it
I
at
wrong?
least.
You're saying half. See, I find that kind of well, first of all, a little repugnant, but really, I find it a little ridiculous because the scientific consensus has studied this over and over again and compared race as a factor, and they find it to be negligible. That the race of a person, it's very small, tiny.
You're telling me that the establishment built upon flat Earth is going to insist that the Earth is flat? Go figure. Damn, that's crazy. Okay.
Well, don't forget that the IQ test was invented to separate races and to decide who can get to vote and stuff like that. So, I mean, this is the system that we're investing in even having this conversation. Hold on,
The school system was. Go ahead.
You're right. Hold on, the user Mac. A lot has to do with the education system. Home life and teacher to student ratio. Very good point. Most of all, it depends on the teachers. If the teacher sucks, yeah, I mean, a teacher sucks. It could, but at the end of the day, IQ tests are supposed to be more about pattern recognition and some other things like how quick on the draw you are or whatever. But I mean, education matters. Knowing how to take a test, knowing what a test is, matters. Some fucking
Bro, what?
no,
It's not even words, baby.
Someone growing up in a fishing village in North Korea has never taken a test in their entire lives. And
Can
you're
you
like,
look at a picture book and see if one is like the other? Like, that's the test.
some
what
of
are you
these people
saying?
have never touched a book. Shit, some Americans have never touched a book, for God's sake.
I'll be one of them, of course.
You can't take someone
Not
like
surprised.
me. I mean, I am in the South. The teachers do not want to teach science because they go to church. Yeah, but all right, but science isn't really what we're
Yep.
talking about. I mean, that is a
Based.
problem. That is a problem.
Based.
You like that?
Hell
You like-
yeah.
I mean, my
Oh,
teachers
yeah.
wouldn't teach evolution, and I'm from Alabama.
Mm.
So, yeah.
Alabama. I thought you were Arkansas. Alabama, Arkansas. Poor diet, all around fast food. It's true we have poor diet when it comes to overeating and hypertension and all that, but no American is dying of protein deficiency. No American has a vitamin deficiency. Very few Americans have vitamin deficiencies. So it's like, it's a little ridiculous to think that because we have a shitty diet in America that makes us fat and insulin dependent and all these things, that's not the same thing as literally not having, going to bed hungry through your childhood and then developing into a grown human who's short with weak bones and maybe have cognitive abilities that are meager or made more meager by your lack of nutrition.
How much of I think this is almost the entirety of your ideology rests on this one pillar.
Which one?
Because if race plays a part in IQ, then all of human history unfolding as it did, it's not really justified, but it self-explains, essentially. It self-explains.
IQ isn't even an accurate
And then-
matter of, like, an accurate way of determining, like, intelligence.
Thank you, Leftoid. Yeah, and then so all of human history self-explains. It doesn't need justification. It would have turned out the same way if any other group had switched it up. So that's fine. That cancels out your hate of white culture, white history, what you see as oppression, is whitey being mean, is essentially just white people being able to mold the world more better than others. So what else do we get out of that if race and IQ?
What culture?
Hold on a
What
second.
history?
I don't hate white culture and white history. I hate white mythology. I hate the bullshit lies that white people tell themselves and tell us
Right.
in order to pretend that our history doesn't exist. Our history is fraught, and we should embrace it because that is how we build culture. That is not what white people are doing. That's not what America is doing. I reject mythology just like I reject most mythologies. I don't think that Zeus cut open his leg and gave us Hephaestus or bullshit like this. I don't believe in the Greek gods either. So when it comes down to like how white people shape the world, well, white supremacy did. And also, steel was probably the biggest part. We could kill people from very far away, and white people had that technological advancement at like the perfect amount of time, the perfect time when colonialism was just getting going. So some of that, but that doesn't mean white people are smart because you could give a monkey a gun and they learn how to use it. Is that the person who you have one smart white guy that knows how to make fucking weapons like rifles, and you got a bunch of morons that know how to shoot them. That ain't white supremacy. That's just technological advancement, a technological advantage.
But if the way I'm just seeing the world, if that advancement was described by Whitey being slightly better at procuring calories and getting a slightly better brain, then we don't really have to moralize it. So I think that's probably why you want to.
I'm not moralizing it. What do you mean? Say that again, because I don't think I understood your point. Please.
If the way I see the world is instead of everybody being a flat, everybody one size fits all, the thing that the sticking point for you is like if my idea is the way the world evolved would have happened anyway if black people were 110 IQ and white people were 65, it just would have inverted who was the slave and who was the master type shit, right?
I mean, that's certainly possible, right? And we've seen like sci-fi, we've seen tribes that are doing well nutritionally and knows how to use weapons. We saw that in the ancient world. What we have like records of the ancient world of like the Persians getting really good at certain domesticating of animals, domesticating of grasses and stuff, and then learning some military using long spears and like their formations and shit. They were able to kill loads of people that way, right? They were able to take over almost half the world doing that.
All right, so you want to talk about white culture. Where did civilization develop? Where did civilization start?
Probably like Sumer, right?
The Middle East.
I think that's the oldest one. Yeah,
the Middle East and Asia.
Yeah, those are white people.
Arabs are white people?
Yeah. If you're from the Caucasus, then you're by definition Caucasian. Yeah.
That's a little convenient. It is
funny
that
Iraq.
It is funny that Persia changed its name to Iran in order to let all the whites know that they were Aryan. That Iran it means Aryan.
They know the truth too.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
Are you telling me Saddam Hussein was a white man?
Now, there's different eras there that
You-
of migration and conquest that might have fucked shit up a little bit, but I don't know. I'd have to ask a historian or like a raceologist.
You know who might have
try
been
me to-
white is Cleopatra, which is a little disconcerting if you think
Yeah,
about
spicy.
it. All that inbreeding made they wanted pale skinned rulers and shit back then. But listen, it doesn't matter who invented civilization. Like this original sin stuff doesn't matter. What matters is today. Today we understand what causes Today we understand what causes IQ discrepancies. Today we understand where we
All
came
right, so
from.
feed them and give an iPad, and then they're just like us. Okay, fucking fantastic
Maybe not-
argument. If that doesn't pan out, then what?
In fact, it does pan out. We've seen this happen already, but there's no political will to actually accomplish it. We do that. I mean, that's what fucking USAID was. That's a lot of just basic shit. Very modest stuff. Like, yeah, feeding them and giving them an iPad actually helps quite a bit. Books, access to stuff.
It would help
Yeah.
at least 50%. If I'm correct, then there's still going to be slightly behind the curve. But I mean, we're rapidly approaching an AI-driven world. So even at the higher end of the scale, you're not going to find much work. So
Let me get back to like civilization. I mean, we're talking about the Egyptians and the Persians, and in the ancient world, civilizations rose and fell, and they rose and fell based on struggle for resources, over farming, overextending, use of others, exploiting others, so that slave rebellions happen, all sorts of things. And don't you think that's where we are? We're starting to see this cracks in our civilization, this grand experiment of colonialism and zero-sum games around the world. We're starting to see it happen again, where we're going to see the America that we know, the empire, fall. And I don't know, bro. We could actually not have it fall by developing our own culture, being honest about our past, and trying to make sure that everyone has enough. Not everyone has Elon Musk money, but everyone has enough, so that we don't have people who are enslaved by their own ignorance. Because that's what happens, man. You talk about low IQs and stuff like that. Authoritarians love that shit. Kim Jong-un loves the fact that most of his people are fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Donald Trump loves the fact that most people in America are getting dumber by the year. He loves that shit. That's why people in Arkansas vote for fucking Donald Trump. He says it out loud. So, like, if we gave a shit about humanity, again, a class solidarity over racial solidarity, we would start thinking about redistributing.
Yeah.
In a meaningful way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think we might actually protect the empire that you like, and also your own race that you like. Like if I could convince you to, you could still be racist, bro. If I could convince you to simply have class solidarity, then racial solidarity, just put class solidarity on top and racial solidarity under that, we could change the world. We could save the planet. We could save America.
Yeah.
Just by changing priorities. Just one little step. You could still be racist. I don't give a shit. But at the end of the day, you choose to stand with poor people before you stand with white people. That's it.
I don't know if that's true for me, but I think I was, like, I ultimately think this argument is pointless. I just think it's interesting. But how it's like, essentially we built the world on, in my opinion, we built the world on the idea that the earth was flat, and then everything sort of went to shit because we never accounted for tribal differences. And then, but here comes, at the end of the day, here comes the white man to save us again with AI. So,
white man, I don't know. I mean, Israel is pushing most of that. I guess they're white too, if you want to say so. But
They are.
but like white
the Semitic
colonialism,
people, right? Or the Caucasus. I don't know. I don't
White-
know. I'm not a fucking raceologist.
and
They're all
AI might be the thing that kills us all too. So it could be, it's Plato's Pharmacon again. But at the end of the day, if we're not going to do something kind of drastic in our way of thinking, and also embrace our past and look at it with a sober eye, then we're not going to. Then we don't deserve, frankly, to keep going. That's
Well,
it.
I mean, if we can, if my idea is correct, you would never be able to give me that. You would never be able to let me cut the world into little chunks of cake as it would be deserved, right? You would never be able to let something like that exist with your ideology. So if it was true, flip a coin, because it's either is or isn't. And what does the world look like if it was true and it wasn't being accounted for? It's exactly what we have right now. It is exactly what we have right this moment, because that is the reality we live in. But you can't give me that. And if we can never account for these differences, we'll never be able to move past the point where we're at now.
We do account for the differences.
Rich people do.
Scientists have gone ad nauseum to try to determine whether or not we had 100 years of scientists going into trying to figure out what makes races different, and it turns out it has mostly to do with geography.
What were those studies done in the 60s that what was the name of all those studies done in the 60s that disproved that race had anything to do with IQ?
In the 60s,
some flat earther trying to some flat earth study. I don't know.
This flat earth thing is so funny to me too. Like I know that people depicted the earth as a flat thing, but I don't believe that anyone ever thought the earth was flat. Humanity stretched all over the world. You can look up and see that the world is not flat. I mean, it's clearly a circle. I mean, it's like I just don't believe it. I mean, Christopher Columbus in 1492 was arguing about the world being round to morons who maybe too stupid thought that, like, people, again, malnourished, stupid people maybe thought the world was flat.
Nobody thought the world was flat back then.
I know people always say
but
that
it's useful as an analogy now, just because it's, it's
like
a
you say that
pseudoscientific.
the world was just one
of us is wrong.
That.
That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, I'm with the scientific community on this one. Hate to
You're
break
with
it to you.
The traitors that said that a COVID mask helps you, so I don't believe them.
Oh, you ignore me isn't my fault. You're choosing it. Hold on. Did I ignore you?
You don't believe in masks working?
I don't think that the establishment is. I think the establishment,
it's like,
I see how invested Sky is. There's people just as adamant that their point is correct, that they would lie.
DS King of Kings says, Steve, this implies you are too bratty to compromise on anything.
No. Well, I don't think this is going to matter.
I like the point about the COVID mask being like, if you're wearing, I don't know, if you're wearing pants and someone pisses on you, the pants get wet. But if they're wearing pants and they piss, they're pissing their pants. It's like that with COVID masks.
Yeah. Well, let's try that. Let me piss on your pants and see how wet you got.
Thank you, DS King of Kings. I'm sorry I missed your text.
I'd get very wet.
I guess, I don't know why we're talking about COVID masks. I mean, I wish that...
Oh, he brought it up.
I say the establishment lies to protect itself.
The establishment does lie to protect itself, but that has nothing to do... The establishment right now is claiming racial differences. The establishment does that. What the establishment is... Like, right now, we have a fascist government in America, and more fascism popping up like whack-a-mole all over the world. And we have white Christian nationalists who use Jesus as a weapon to divide us via racial lines. Like, what do you mean the establishment? I mean, the establishment is
so
invested
much
in
of our
differences.
Society is built upon the idea that all races, all tribes are one and the same. That's
no,
like
so
much of our society
is like that. Yes, it is based. That's like fucking. That's new. That's new in the grand scheme. That's brand new.
I'm going
that
through
racial differences are that racial differences don't matter. That's not the way civilization came about. We are right now, we're the beneficiaries of colonialism. And there's no fucking way that we could say, well, the civilization is based on racial equality. That's not true. One of the reasons why Donald Trump and people like him are getting a lot of scratch these days is because they're rejecting some of this new shit. You think when Donald Trump was a kid, people said that racial equality? Donald Trump was born in 1941. In his lifetime, of course, by the time he turns 80, he's pissed that people are saying that black men are as good as he is. He hates black people. So... Fucking what are we like, dude? Donald Trump in the 80s was fucking taking out full-page ads calling for the execution of innocent black people in the New York Times.
The innocent Maya. Oh, here you go. Blah blah blah. I looked into it, and
they were exonerated.
those kids were
Okay, look, his
Yeah,
dad.
they were exonerated, but that's the establishment protecting itself here
By
again.
DNA
It shot itself in
Fred
the
evidence.
foot
Trump,
despite
hold on.
white people.
Fred Trump was
Right.
so fucking.
Not everybody
Fred
who
Trump was
gang
so.
rapes somebody is going to come.
Okay. Fred Trump was so
I
fucking
looked into
evil
it,
and so
and
fucking
those kids were.
racist.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's right. Fred Trump was
Fred-
racist. Trump fucking
hold-
redlined. Go ahead.
Fred Trump was so evil and so fucking racist that Woody Guthrie, he's the one who wrote "This Land Is Your Land, This Land Is My Land," wrote a song shit talking him for just how
Yeah, it's
fucking
called
racist
Old Man
he
Trump.
was.
It's called Old Man
Yep.
Trump, about Beach Haven apartments where he was living, but black people weren't allowed to live. I mean, this was in Donald Trump's lifetime. Donald Trump was a kid, but don't fucking tell me that civilization's based on racial equality. That's not even sort of true. Like, in living memory, when I lived in the South, I had black friends who remembered going into the movie theater that we were in and having to sit on the balcony. When they were kids, they had to sit in the colored only section. What are you talking about, civilization? There's buildings
Is
that I've
literally
been
in our
into.
laws, my guy. What are you talking about?
That's
it is
new.
in
That's
our
brand
Constitution.
new.
Yes,
In our Constitution,
and-
it says blacks are worth 3/5 of a white.
Yeah.
That's what it
Well,
says in the Constitution. You're saying that's racial equality?
What? I thought they got rid of that. We should probably get rid of that. What do you think?
We
gonna
got
write
rid
that
of
part
it with
out?
the 13th and 14th Amendments. You're right, but
Oh,
it's
okay.
still. But a Constitution, in the Constitution, the original document, 3/5, the 3/5 compromise.
Right.
So
Well,
I don't
I
know
mean-
where you're getting this idea that civilization's based on racial equality. That's
Well,
like
not
a
the
brand
fucking
new
like
idea.
foundation, but the current globalist ideology is that everyone is essentially a blank slate. That is why they're allowing people from, shitholes to migrate to their country without barely any fucking resistance. That's why we're seeing what we're seeing with those populations moving.
The reason why those populations are moving is because of foreign policy by rich countries, but that's neither here nor there.
Sure.
When it comes to the blank slate thing, it's very
Yeah, but-
interesting. The difference between nature versus nurture is something that we've been thinking about since philosophy. Since there was a thing called philosophy, that's a question we've been trying to answer. Now, one of the questions we've been able to answer when it comes to science is not about just nature versus nurture. Maybe you were born because your genetics a little bit different from me, and maybe you're better at math than I am at fucking English or whatever the hell. There's a lot going on there. Blank slate, maybe not, right? But racial lines being the determining factor or even a major factor, ridiculous. It's been thrown out. They've studied it to fucking death. If there is a difference between the races, it's minor, extremely minor. Like on the level of I like cilantro and you don't. That's the level we're talking about when it comes to racial differences. I got wet earwax, you got dry earwax.
From what I believe, what I see, from what I have ingested, I see that is likely propaganda. I could be wrong. I'd be happy to be wrong. I don't like the bad things that happen because people can't compete in a modern world that we're all fucking insisting that everyone do at maximum speed. I don't like that. I'd be a fucking rotten person if I liked that black people from Kenya are going to be poor, even if you bring them over here, give them an iPad and feed them. Don't like it, but it is what it is. If I'm right, it's not going to change if I'm right.
Well, there's a lot of it is what it is, but the problem is you're not right, dude. There's been studied to death. I mean, they literally fought fucking wars about it in Europe. Like a lot of what happened during World War II was about eugenicism. A lot of what was happening in this country in our asylums that we were talking about earlier were about eugenicism. We've studied this shit to death. Like, it's been a thing for a really long time. Even Aristotle was talking about the difference between man and animal is blurry, and that some races are closer to animals, and if we can make them look more like animals in drawings and propaganda, that it makes it easier to enslave them. This is shit that's been going on since the
That
fucking
might be
Greeks.
Sure, that's absolutely true.
This is something that's been going on for a very long time, and we've studied it. I mean, just in like
Sure.
just in the last 100 years, we've studied the fuck out of this. And it turns out race is an extremely small factor. I'm not even going to say it's no factor. I think that's probably dishonest as well. But the factor is extremely small.
I get that it shouldn't be like relied on to make the moral claim. Of course not. I would never say something like that. But if we're not going to account for it at all, we're not going to be able to account for the effects of it at all. So that's just I'm saying there's going to be a trade-off to continuing on as we're going. That is, of course, until the fucking AI comes,
or until we just hang all the billionaires. But that's
Sure.
another thing. I mean, we can easily solve this problem right now, like that. But what are we gonna do? Dems are in the center right. They are practically Republicans. Yep, basically zombie slayer. That's about right. Yeah, they're basically Republican. Yeah, I'm with you. All right. Does anybody else want to call in and we could talk?
Please, anybody, please.
We have a menu here, but you could call up and talk about something else. Yeah, it's not a moral argument to say it's small. Yeah, it's not a moral argument. Why are you okay with the wars? Why do you blame brown people for white crimes? How is veganism a cult? Do you think veganism's a cult? What is
like if I made you eat meat or I'm gonna kill somebody, would you eat that meat?
If you were gonna eat meat or kill somebody,
no. I'm gonna I got a gun. I'm putting it in your face, and I say,
you're like
eat that
Caligula?
steak, or I'm gonna shoot. Wasteland Games in the face if you don't eat that fucking meat. And what do you do?
I'd tell you don't do it because I want to get shot.
He wants to die. So
well, I'll tell you what. The animal's already dead, and you're forcing me to do something. I'm coerced. If you told me to sign a contract, if you put a gun to my head and told me to sign a contract, the point is that most people don't have a gun to their head. Most people kill for pleasure and profit. And almost every animal that's ever been killed, it was a product of rape, and they are here for pleasure and profit. Jen from Maine. How are you, Jen from Maine?
I'm well. How about you?
Hi,
Fabulous.
Jen.
Good. I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah. What's on your mind? What's the deal and how you feeling?
Exhausted, but
nice.
So I just can't stand it anymore.
Okay. The oligarchs got you down. Give it to me.
So that study that one of the guys was referencing in 1969, it was a Harvard study. It showed that, what was it? Hold on one second. Let me pull the study back up here.
1969 Harvard.
Yeah. Okay. In the United States.
Arthur Jensen's article, How Much Can We Boost IQ and Scholastic Achievement? Yeah, he argued intelligence is largely genetic, suggesting racial disparities in IQ were rooted in hereditary factors, sparking intense controversy and inflating modern debates on race and intelligence.
Okay, so Section 3, mean race IQ difference as a global perspective. In the United States, 15 to 20% of the Black IQ distribution exceeds the white median IQ. So many Blacks obtain scores above the white average. The same order of mean group differences is also found on culture fair tests and on reaction time tests. Hundreds of studies on millions of people have confirmed the three-way racial pattern. That was Jensen, 1998, Lynn and Valhanen, 2002, and then Rushton in 2000.
What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's exactly what you'd see if their bell curve was behind ours. 20% it would be over our median. Yes.
Okay.
Of course, that's how a bell curve works.
So because they're American, their IQs are higher. Is that what we're saying?
No, I'm just saying. No, it says it's a global perspective. The same differences was also done on culture fair and reaction time tests. It was also done worldwide. And incidentally, East Asians and East Asians, which also encompasses Southeast Asians, which is what Americans typically misnomer as the Middle East, have a much higher IQ than Caucasians, whites, however you want to put it. I hate the term whites, but
why does it offend you?
She's white. She hates white people.
It's
I
She
just a
do
sees
little
not
herself
funny.
hate
as an
white
oppressor
people. I
class.
hate
You have
I hate
Mediterraneans.
I hate ignorant people.
White.
Mm.
And
White. It seems kind of funny that we call it white. It's
especially
just,
since most people are sort of pink
yeah, well,
that are
like,
Caucasian.
oh, they're all straw colored. Everyone's kind of a different shade of straw.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly. I'm definitely not white. Snow is white. I'm not that color. But to be fair, I'm multicultural, so
Yeah, because you're part Iranian, but in
correct.
Iran, Iran changed their name to Aryan. So I mean, you're Aryan either way, right?
Well, actually, Persian mean the definition of Aryan is pure-blooded Persian. It always
Hmm.
has been. So
Well,
I always find it
until the
in
Nazis got a hold of the word.
well, yeah, exactly. But I always
Not
found it funny
always.
that they call him the Aryan, Aryan nation. I'm like, do you realize that that means Persian, right? You mean
Yeah, but until the
so
mustache guy got a hold of the word, then he changed the meaning of the swastika and the meaning of Aryan. He did a
right.
lot of that. Did
Well,
a lot of work there.
there was this idea that India essentially was conquered by white people, and that's why they're so weird over there now. They were essentially cucked by white people.
India
So
was conquered by white people. It was
It was,
yeah,
yeah.
well,
called
not
England.
recently, but we're talking about prehistory, essentially.
DS
Like
King
if
of
you go look at
Kings.
their Like if you go
Calling
look at
Well,
their art, it's basically just white people on chariots. Those are their gods. So it's pretty fucked up.
A
But
lot of them are
yeah,
blue though too. Don't forget.
I was gonna
yeah,
say they're blue and have 6 arms.
Calling
no.
yourself white erases the Irish or the German or the Italian or the French or the Norse. That's why I dislike the idea of whiteness. Well,
Yes,
that's because of the Spanish Inquisition, right? The Spanish Inquisition started calling people white, and they started looking at people that were lesser thans and easy to exploit. But
right.
it makes sense, right? Like if you're black was literally a label of what kind of labor. It was literally a kind of labor, and that's how they like
Right.
it. They have
White
white
collar,
labor and
blue
black
collar.
labor.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Hmm.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, you have to simplify just to be able to talk about it because it would
Well, and
take you
what
just
kind of
two or three days to
jobs
get
you were
through it.
allowed to get? What kind of jobs white people were allowed to get? What kind of jobs black people were allowed to get? Whether or not blacks could even get those jobs or not, or even be paid for them? How much they were allowed to be paid? All that was based on race, starting with the Spanish and the late 1400s. So it isn't even that old. This isn't even that old of an idea, if you think about it.
No.
500
And it
years.
still exists today.
Yep, still going on.
Still
Still
exists
going on.
today.
Well, that's
And now
because
it's
that was
even
kind of like
gender.
well,
I mean,
yeah, I
it's
mean,
always been gender, but I mean, now it's even more prevalent in gender because,
Yep.
you can have a male and a female doing the exact same job and the female get paid 20% less.
well,
Yep.
you and count yourself lucky because you used to get fired for being pregnant. So and
Oh,
you,
yeah.
and you couldn't escape contracts with your husband even though you didn't want to be in the marriage anymore. And yeah, I mean,
True.
it's women were property until what, the 60s and 70s.
You're just gonna
Well,
let
and
the
still,
gender wage gap fly with any
you know,
debunking of that 20%.
still,
Total
still
bullshit.
the um, the Equal Rights Amendment has never been ratified. It's actually not part of the Constitution.
Yeah, the ERA was never. Well, it was, but it wasn't put in because Joe Biden screwed the pooch. He could have put it in, by the way. Joe
Yeah,
Biden
he
could have
could have.
done it. The fucking asshole. But yeah, I mean, the ERA should be part of the Constitution. It isn't because of Joe Biden, as far as I'm concerned. Anyway, racial disparity and gender disparity still exist. I mean, that's just a problem, and black labor is still described as such, and women don't get paid as much as men in most jobs. So it's
They don't earn as much.
They don't earn.
They
as
don't
much.
earn as much. Yeah, it's not anything to do with.
Excuse me? What would you want to quantify that?
Yeah. You don't earn as much is because you're not as aggressive as a man in seeking out raises. So yeah,
No, but
it's like
women.
the entirety of your.
Oh, because they're
Yeah.
not asking for
Yeah, look
raises
it up.
enough. Interesting. Well, I
Yeah,
mean, that could be
and
the
they're
case.
not. Yeah, then they don't work like men. They don't work as much as men. En masse.
No.
Oh my
But
goodness.
that's not. It doesn't matter about
Capitalists
women
will
not
always
working as
cut
That is
much.
corners and try to
I
scam
know.
people, dude.
Women
Yep.
in the same
it?
positions, women in the same
Uneducated
position as
people.
men are still making less.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean?
that
Look it
work
up.
the same amount of hours. You look it up, my dear, and try not using Chat
Yep.
GPT because it is not.
Even
Look it up.
ChatGPT will
It's
tell
totally
you
real.
that based on
Yep.
hour for hour, job for job. I mean, I guess if you go and if you bend it a little differently, maybe you can get to where you're talking about, Steve. But that's just not the case. Like people are.
He might be talking about blue collar work because it apparently is the kind of work he's used to.
Well, blue collar work is the blue collar work. If you're in a union, women make the same amount as men. Like that. That's
Yes.
great.
Yes.
If you're in a union, but that's not always the case. I mean, when I've worked in places where bartenders make more than cocktail servers,
Right.
and usually it's men doing bartender work, and cocktail servers are usually female. Not all, but
Typically. Yeah.
typically, and for some reason the company doles out more for bartenders than servers. It's a very bizarre thing that I never really understood. But I mean, I don't know. It's gender inequality still exists. It doesn't matter really. These
Imagine
nitty-gritty-
taking
Are
that
you
little
saying- are
bumper
you saying-
sticker into the workforce and thinking you're going to get 20% less than a man just because you're a female. Wouldn't that flavor your opinion of males if that was just what you believed without further looking into
Well,
the
here we
reasons
go.
as to why that
As
happens?
of early 2026, women in the U.S. working full-time year-round are typically paid 81 cents for every dollar paid to men, a gap that has remained stagnant or slightly widened in recent years.
I guess like a 19%
paid.
difference. A 19% difference is something, but I don't know. Even if you get out of the weeds, there, does anybody think that men and women are treated equally in this country? I mean, just
Absolutely not.
is that
Yeah, women are treated way better than young men. Yeah, absolutely.
and
That's
In certain ways.
insane.
In certain ways, like I can get pulled over for something and my husband can get pulled over for something. I may get a warning, my husband's going to get a ticket. That's unless the cop is female. But that's just
that women are treated better than young men.
I wouldn't
That's
say
fucking
better.
crazy.
No, I wouldn't say better in any
What a
way.
weird.
Oh, yeah.
I want to hear.
Way
I
better.
want to hear why
Ever
you-
since, hold on. Ever
Go ahead.
since I've started presenting as a woman online, I have been getting constantly harassed for it. Like, I don't present myself as a trans woman online. I just present myself as a woman online. And I am
Right.
constantly getting fucking sexually harassed by creepy men on the internet. So,
Absolutely.
no, that
Yep.
you don't have the reverse of that.
1 second,
I-
break it. I'm gonna break. I'm sorry, bro, but you're dumb AF to even say that about women, says the user Mac. Thank you for the contribution. I appreciate you very much. Why do you think? I just want to just purely out of curiosity. Why do you think women are treated better than young men? Is that what? Can you say it again? Because I want to understand. I don't want to misquote you. You still there, Steve? Of course. Damn it. All right. Well, Steve's gone.
You left?
No, he's in the chat, but I think he's having mic issues again or something. But oh no, he disappeared. Damn it! I really wanted to know. I may have a hard time. I read it. The user Mac. Thank you for your contribution. I really appreciate you. What a weird that young women are treated better than young men. That's. I don't think so. They are performing. They're outperforming young men in like test scores and education, but that doesn't mean they're treated better, does it? Anyway, Jen from Maine, what else you got? Jen from Maine, what else you got?
Oh, I don't know. I lost all my train of thought after that.
Oh no, I thought you had what? Does anything on the menu fit your fancy? Did you change your hair?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did change your hair, huh? You're so small on the screen, I couldn't tell. Ding Dang Do is back in the chat. Ding Dang Do, you're here. Can you tell me? Can you hear me, Ding Dang Do?
I sure
right,
can.
I wanna understand.
Yeah.
So I don't misquote you. Why do you think that women are treated better than young men? Is that what you were saying? Young women are treated better than young
Women
men.
are getting like preferential, like they're getting into college more frequently, even though
Test
they're
scores.
they're
Test
lower on
scores
the
are
IQs. Yeah. And they're
Oh my goodness, I cannot wait. How many members
There's
of
like a whole-
Mensa? How many members members of Mensa do you think are male versus female?
I wouldn't know that. I could Google it.
Apparently, you wouldn't.
Female.
Yeah.
Well, Mensa's a little fascist as far as I'm concerned, but I'll look it up. Mensa predominantly male. 64 to 66% identify as male. 32 to 34% identify as female.
What is Mensa? I'm sorry.
Mensa's a high IQ. This is only American Mensa. It's a high IQ club. It's like fucking Steve Martin's a member. It's like it's a smart people membership club. While studies showed no significant difference between IQ between genders, men tend to have higher variance in scores, leading to higher representation at the extreme high end, and IQ ranges like at 130 plus.
Yeah, men are smarter than women. Yeah. We all
No.
know that.
No.
First of all,
Not
IQ
even close
is
to being
not
true.
it's not a reliable signifier of intelligence, but
No,
Okay.
that's your ability to learn. That is not your
just
actual
pattern recognition, right? Females often
Right.
excel in verbal abilities and processing speed, while males tend to score higher on spatial tasks.
Correct.
Men make 64, 67, 66% of membership, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they have higher IQs. Research indicates that while average intelligence is similar, men are more frequently represented at the extreme top end, in part due
What
to
does that
higher
mean?
variability. There's higher so men have a lot more differences in males, so that there's extremes on both sides. There's extreme low and extreme high. So on the extreme sides, men are overrepresented. So like
Okay.
at the extreme
So men are
low,
smarter.
no, because at the
No.
extreme low,
No.
they're also overrepresented because of the variation. Men are much more varied when it comes to IQ than women for some reason,
Oh, okay.
which is interesting. So that
So
when you look at the very high end, men are overrepresented because of how crazy different men are. Men seem to be all over the place when it comes to IQ, apparently. Interesting.
okay. Well, see, I took from that was that men are, because they're actually filling those spots in the more intelligent zones more frequently. That number being greater than the smaller number. That my comment that men are smarter than female should stand, but apparently not.
Well, it
No,
depends what average you're
because-
talking about.
Right,
I guess.
because there's also there are many more men with very low IQs than
That's
there are
true.
women.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So they still
So
men
they're-
still outperform women they're on the way down too, right? They outrepresent
Right.
women on the lowest end. So I guess it's sort of a wash, but at the end of the day, again, I'll remind everybody, IQ is not a decent signifier of intelligence.
Exactly.
Parallelist says, Steve, what's your IQ?
I got it estimated at 12, but I'm thinking it's
12?
probably around 14. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So on
Thank
average, women. Let me see. On average, women have a higher median intelligence, but they're underrepresented on both sides of the extremes.
Right.
So it doesn't really teach me anything. I don't think men. Even then, again, IQ does not mean that you're smarter. A study of British
Yeah.
Mensa members found that despite similar actual scores, males rated their intelligence higher than females in Britain by self-estimation.
Right.
Despite their own scores. Even though they all scored the same, men still thought themselves more intelligent than women. Some female members of Mensa have reported experiencing stereotypes where assertiveness is interpreted differently compared to their male counterparts, as discussed.
Exactly.
So you already said that like the assertiveness, that women aren't as assertive and therefore don't make as much money at the workplace because they don't ask for raises, but also women are looked at differently when they're assertive.
Exactly.
Women are looked at as
Whenever-
bitchy, and men are looked at as
Exactly. I was
as
going to say,
assertive.
whenever I assert myself,
Couldn't be that they
I'm
have
considered a
bitchy
bitch.
qualities.
yeah, or you're pushy. Women are
Mhm.
called pushy, and men are called assertive. Like that's
Right.
this is absolutely. Oh my god. That is,
Yep.
I don't know. I can't believe anyone would argue with that. I mean, when women assert themselves, it's like, God, that bitch. But if a
Right.
man does it, you're like, he's a go-getter.
Right.
It's crazy. They could be the same words. It could be the same email. But if it came from a woman, you call her a bitch. But if it comes from a guy, you call him assertive power tie guy or whatever. DS King of Kings. I don't like the rat race, but it's your ideology. Oh. I don't like your rat race, but it's your ideology, says DS King of Kings. Let's go. The user Mac is on the air. User Mac, how the heck you doing? What's the deal and how you
Howdy.
feeling? Hello, what's your thought?
Dude. Wow.
By the way, can y'all hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh wait, hold on a
Okay.
second. Wait, what am I doing? Right here.
User
Okay.
Mac, you
I
sound like
had to go in there.
you sound a little bit far away, so you might have to talk a little close to your phone or something.
I think it should be going through my headset. I can talk up though. Can you hear
All
me
right.
now?
I can hear you, yeah.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to say, like, I don't know who raised you, bro, but like, dude, all growing up, all we always heard was women are much smarter than guys. Girls comprehend things faster. There's a reason that girls learn how to do laundry. They do dishes and shit way before guys are forced to by their parents and shit. You know what I mean? Like, there's a comprehension level. We're not even talking about the new generation, which honestly don't do shit. Probably aren't taught shit. So male or female, I think we're all just fucked that way. But all growing up, dude, you never really heard of it. Like, you would know the smart guy. They look smart. They look nerdy, right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you had people like me who are just off in their own world with their ADHD that nobody understood. Smart people who are just trapped in a box. But then you know what I mean? But it was just guys that were really trapped in that thing, because even a girl with ADHD is still smart as shit, right? So they're still able to keep task and keep moving on. There's a significant, you wanted to like go about intelligence and race. I would stand by intelligence difference in gender.
But that's a lot
before
of that's
I would ever say race.
But a lot of what you're describing is socialization too. There seems to be evidence that women
agree.
mature faster than men, and that then they might get a head start in the beginning. But once the plateau hits in their 20s, they're all the same. So when we talk about boys and girls, it's a lot different than men and women, right?
Exactly.
And a lot of that, like socialization, I think that what ends up happening with neurodivergence you mentioned. I have a lot of friends that work in therapy and in psychology and psychiatry. And it seems to be that women are underdiagnosed with things like autism and ADHD because they have been socialized to mask that better at an earlier age. So they don't present the same as men. Same thing though. What I think is interesting is that women who have heart attacks, they don't have pain in their arm like men do. In the movies, we think like, oh, if you have pain in your arm, you're having a heart attack. It's actually they feel nauseous, they feel sick to their stomach. I didn't know that until my mom died of a heart attack, and they said, yeah, that always happens. That's how women die of heart attacks. I had no clue about that. So it's like
Weird.
Women present illnesses, physical illnesses and mental illnesses differently than men. So they're underdiagnosed a lot of times. And they die more frequently of curable diseases, women do, especially if they're a woman of color. So it seems to be more social, I guess, is what I'm saying, than just, oh, women are smarter than men or men are smarter than women. I feel like we could kind of reject both out of hand.
Yes.
I guess I can agree with you.
Women are taught
Keep that earth
to
nice and flat.
not be sick. We are taught to, like, everyone in the house has the flu, right? I might have the flu too, but I have to mask that because I have to clean up the puke and shit from every male family member.
It's so funny though. I would say that men have to do that too. When I go to, I don't know, I was always in the service industry and hospitality, and we work sick. We work sick all the time.
Right, but
chefs, it's all machismo to keep working when you're sick.
When you're growing up as a child,
Yeah.
you're taught. Females are taught to suck it up and drive on, kind of thing, where men, when they get sick, they are super sick, you know what I mean? And then whenever somebody just posted something that just brought something to my mind, when, you know, in times gone by, if a woman had some sort of neurodivergent thing about her, it was she needed to masturbate, or she needed
to be forced into orgasms because of hysteria.
Right.
Yeah,
Hysteria.
I mean that's how the vibrator was invented, by the way. They invented a vibrator to force women to have orgasms in order to treat their mental illness. I mean, fucking crazy shit, right?
Right.
But you're right though that women as caregivers a lot of time and almost are forced into that role. And if they
Exactly.
don't accept that role, then they're crazy. They have hysteria. But women
Hmm.
also are forced to have a higher threshold for pain, and
Exactly.
people have said that's because of childbirth. But I don't know. I think that women are just forced
I've
to
never had
pretend
a
like a lot of
child.
things don't hurt them.
I've never had a
I
child,
think you're
but I
right with
had a
that.
compound fracture and I walked on it.
Yeah, I know that men do that crazy stuff too, though, right? I know guys who have been, but it seems like it's so funny that women are always considered to have a higher threshold for pain and stuff like that on these averages that we talk about,
Hmm.
and it's got to be socialized, right? There's no way women feel pain differently than men. I don't believe it. Maybe I'm
I don't
wrong.
think so. I mean, at some point there could be something genetic as far as over the centuries of being socialized to be that way. Do you understand what I mean?
Yeah,
Um, it's like, okay, so there's a
Maria.
lot of
Sorry. Maria says
Oh, cool.
men whine and get away with it, but good luck whining as a woman. I don't know.
exactly.
I've lived a long time, guys, and if I had a nickel every time a woman whined about being cold, I'd be a millionaire.
Hey, being
Be
cold
loaded.
is listen, that is a kind of pain that I don't think men understand. When
Whining.
you
They
are
always
cold,
whine. I'm cold. I'm cold. I'm cold. Oh my God. I'm hungry. I'm cold. It's so weird to me. I was never allowed to tell anybody I'm hungry or I'm cold. I'm like, I've had so many times women, not lovers, but just random women telling me that they're hungry and cold. I'm like, great. Thanks for the information. Like, what is that? Maybe it's not. Maybe it doesn't count as whining, but it seems like it seems like they whine just as much as men. Men and women seem to be whining equally, guys. It is socialized early to become a perma brain wire. Ooh,
yeah,
Yeah, we just whine about different things, right? Like they
yeah, we
might
whine
right.
whine
about
that
different
they're
stuff.
cold.
Oh,
Yeah,
I
of
yeah,
might
course.
bitch
And
about everything else.
I
yeah,
don't
yeah,
think
yeah.
I've ever been warm in my life, except for when it's 90 degrees outside. But other
Okay,
than
but
that,
why tell everybody about it? You know what I mean? I've never
why
been.
not?
That's what whining is, right? I'm not saying you're not cold. I'm just saying, why do I gotta know about it? Like, unless I
Well,
could do something about it.
exactly. In my defense, I only say something about it if there's someone in the room that can change that and I don't have the ability to change it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like if I
Yeah.
say I'm cold because I'm somewhere that someone else needs to adjust the heat or turn
Yeah,
down
I
the air
guess
conditioning.
I've always worked with a lot of women, and they could just walk up to you and be like, "I'm hungry." Cool. Like, I don't have. Do you see me with snacks? Like your break's coming up. Make sure you eat on your break.
It's
Like
just
why
a
are?
conversation. We
It's
like
not
to
a
talk.
conversation. It's a
It is.
whine.
It's a
Well,
conversation.
some of it's manipulation, right? It depends on who they're
Oh
telling
God,
it
I don't
to.
know. I mean,
absolutely. I
I
am
do
the
the
first
same
one to
thing.
tell
So
you that women are trained to manipulate from day one. And I
Oh.
am proud of how well I can do that. I'm sorry
I
about
wish I
that.
knew how to do that.
but,
I'm
but then
not
you get
sorry,
somebody like
actually.
Madonna's mother, and they use it all for the wrong reasons, you know?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But, manipulation can never be a good thing. I mean, honestly, it's never really a good thing to
Yeah.
manipulate
Well, there's
someone.
like playful banter manipulation, right? Like what I think that you're suggesting. But then you get people who legit like they're narcissistic manipulators. I guess is the way I would put like a serious manipulation. That would be the biggest issue.
Well, the difference between
Yeah,
abuse, it's also, motive means a lot right here, right?
right,
Like
right,
Yeah, it
for
does.
sure.
Yeah, it does.
a good salesperson trying to sell you something you actually need versus a salesperson that's trying to con you out of your life savings so that they can,
Oh, like a
abscond.
car salesman.
Yeah, like Smoking Blondie, you're on the air. Thank you so much for being here.
Howdy.
Hi,
Hi.
I thought the guy voice was
Are you
smoking blondie. I'm
cold?
like, wait a second.
Are you cold?
I'm never cold.
Are you hungry?
Yes,
Okay.
That's
You got
funny.
Wonderful.
I'm
that heat
never
on
hungry,
high.
but I'm always cold. I'm like
I
never hungry.
I can never get. I mean, the heat and I always combat. My husband, on the other hand, gets cold and he says it's painful.
It is painful when you're cold.
What's he do for work?
He's an engineer.
An engineer. He's in a air conditioning.
I was gonna help him out and just say, well, he's probably just building houses. It probably fucking hurts.
No,
The
he
difference
literally
between-
has like 0 body fat. That's why.
The difference between rage bait and gaslighting, says DS King of King. Actually, they've already studied this hot and cold thing, that women generally wear clothing that's ill-suited for their jobs, ill-suited for their environment, ill-suited for the weather.
they're
Women
less hairy,
women are
usually.
wearing clothes that are like, women wear clothes too. Even office buildings, they wear little skirts, and they're not ready for the 65 degrees in the office building, right? And men are wearing suits or thicker clothing.
We don't know how to dress ourselves.
It's not about that. They've been socialized to. They're kind of like, what's socially acceptable in an office building for a woman to wear isn't the same that's socially acceptable for a man to wear.
Right.
I'm not saying that women are like choosing improperly, although I think a lot of times they do. Like, man, I've been in outside a club, and you knew you were going to stand outside for a while. Why the fuck are you wearing that? You gotta be cold.
Yeah.
You
Gotta get
gotta
that
be
Ellen
cold.
DeGeneres suit.
I'm surprised you are, like, your legs, like, yeah, I could see more skin, and you were just like, more skin than clothing. Like, you're standing there half naked and you're cold. Yeah, no shit, you're cold.
Mm.
But
Well, I'll be the first to admit that I will wear sweaters that are thin and tight because I am well endowed in this area, and it does.
if you got it, flaunt it.
Well, it does me a service to be able to, stand out in that way in an industry, both my my before I retired industry and my current industry, which is male dominated. It does me a service to stand out in a way that may be unnecessary attention, but it gets me noticed in a way that is positive in a male environment.
Yeah, here's what I think is really sad is that, and then when you get a woman like Hillary Clinton, who is wearing pantsuits every day because she was raised in this environment of like professional life, right? This is where she lives. She lives in office buildings. That's where she lives. Government buildings, office buildings. And what do people do? They make fun of her for wearing pantsuits.
Yeah.
Like it was. Do you remember? Forget about all the policy stuff. Do you remember how many people were making fun of the pantsuits? It was a huge thing all over. It was on SNL and fucking on all the late night talk shows. Everyone was making fun of her pantsuits.
Yep.
So you're damned if you do.
I
If you're
grew up
damned if you
after
don't.
that.
Ladies are damned. It's a catch-22.
So what about the
Yeah,
women?
I grew up
I'm gonna hop off.
who have
Okay,
their-
hop off. Well, it's time to go anyway. I'm about to kick everybody off. So, who just said that?
I was
Okay,
like,
cool.
Blondie
Oh,
had
I was-
something to say.
You're back.
Say something.
You were gonna say
Oh,
something.
I said. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Who are you talking to?
Wasteland. You. Wasteland.
Oh, well, I was just saying, like, I don't remember all that stuff about Hillary Clinton. I grew up after that.
Oh, well, youngin,
Yeah.
you got a woman running for president, and she wore the pantsuits, and everyone made fun of her for wearing pantsuits. It was a talk of that. Everyone made jokes about her pantsuits because she wasn't dressed like a professional woman should. And that was a big thing. What are you supposed to wear when you're a woman running for president on the national stage, and people are starting to take your candidacy seriously? She chose pantsuit. And it made sense. Why can't women wear suits that are kind of feminine? It made sense. She's cold. She was 60-something when she was running. Of course she was fucking cold.
It just seems weird to make fun of her for that, but
Well, they make fun of anything, right? We make fun of the way Donald Trump dresses too. It's just weird because it's not gendered, right? It's not. He wears funny suits as
he
well.
dresses like a rodeo clown.
Well, yeah, he paints his face like one.
That's for sure.
He paints his face. He wore more makeup than her, and yet.
With all that money, why can't he not find at least go and get Hegseth's makeup artist? Because we
Yeah,
know
he's-
Hegseth has a full-on makeup studio. And
Yeah, he's got a
why
studio
does
in the
Donald
Pentagon.
Trump not have a proper makeup artist? I mean, my God, any female on the planet could do his makeup better than him.
He does sometimes. Sometimes he clearly has a professional, right? When he looks human, but
Yeah.
I just think he's a narcissist, and I don't think it's a money thing. It's just that when he looks in the mirror, I don't know if you guys do this, but when I look in the mirror, I think like, oh, I'm looking pretty good today, but man, I hope to run an extra mile today, so get rid of this belly fat. I see some of my flaws as well. I probably see a few more of my flaws than I do some of my positive attributes, right?
Hey, Sky.
Yeah.
Sky, check the back chat.
Yeah. See those feet in my mouth? Computers, cars, right? Feet in your mouth. What are you doing, Steve? What are you doing, feet? You want to suck on people's feet? little footsie in the back chat, in the private chat.
I'm scared.
A little footsie in the back chat. But you know how most people, when you look in the mirror, I don't know, maybe this isn't most people, but I think that most people look in the mirror. This is just, I don't know how most people do it, right? Just thinking that most people look in the mirror, they see their flaws as well as their positives, right? They see the things that they like about themselves, but they also see the things that they don't like about themselves. Is that fair to say?
Do you dwell on that?
No, but when you look in the mirror, when you're getting ready for whatever you're going to do today, maybe some days you dwell on it, some days you don't, but you kind of see it, right? You're like, okay, you see yourself as you are, I hope. You see some things you like about yourself and some things you don't, right? Isn't that why people...
That would probably be normal, I would say, yeah.
I think it's pretty normal, right?
Yeah, I would say that would be normal.
That's why we get hair.
I don't see anything like that myself.
Well, there you go. Sometimes there's extremes like that, but isn't that why we cut our hair in a way that is good for our head shape? And I don't know, women wear makeup, or some men wear makeup, and they do so based on their facial structure and stuff. We do things to try to. Or you just said the thing about the sweaters, right? You wear tighter sweaters so your tits look good. And
yeah, you accentuate the positives, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're pointing out the negatives. I don't think that's a healthy place to be.
But you're aware of the negatives, I guess, or maybe they're not even negatives. To me, I do. Maybe because I had an overweight father, and I don't want to be considered an overweight guy. So, like, I try to keep it. Right. I try to stay a little bit. When I notice myself getting a little too soft in the middle, I go to the gym more. Sure. I start to exercise more because I notice it when I look in the mirror. Donald Trump will never notice that when he looks in the mirror. You know what I mean? He only sees when he puts on that makeup. He looks like $1 million.
Yeah, he thinks he looks like those NFTs that he put out. He thinks he really looks like that. And
no one will tell him otherwise because of his status. So. Right. The emperor has no clothes. No one will say that the emperor has no clothes.
Correct.
That's really rich coming from a bunch of people that have never made themselves president twice. So it sounds like you're all just jealous.
Oh, wait, he made himself president twice?
No, he didn't make himself president twice.
He made himself president?
He made himself president twice. Wow, after blowing up on J6. Come on, bro. That's not...
Yeah, he did it all by himself. Self-made man. You're totally right. Had nothing to do with... the oligarchs and Elon
didn't have anything to do with all the money and everything.
No, nothing. That he was raised with money and got his. He got into Wharton.
His entire wad from his father and then had to grift to get it back. Yeah.
Three or four bankruptcies, 3 divorces. He got into Wharton School of Business when their acceptance rate was still 75%. Now it's like 5%. Like, imagine being able to get into a top tier university when their acceptance rate was 75%. Like,
right?
Yeah, it's fucking crazy. It's crazy.
Bitter tea.
Like, it used to be UC Berkeley was the same thing. It was like this prestigious university, but anybody could go for free. So they accepted now it's like 9% of acceptance rate or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, that would be pretty cool. I don't think he did it himself. This is the end of the show because we're going to do a gaming show later. We're going to do a gaming show called Dark Sky Games. I hope that you guys will enjoy that. We're going to play Disco Elysium, and we're going to play the driving game Pacific Drive. I like that one. So two games.
Do you think that you could split it up? Because I watched the last stream. The driving game is not very clippable. I don't know unless something crazy happens on it, man. I was struggling.
Why do you think it's not clippable?
Clip. Well, it's just it's slow pace. Looks like it was a VR game.
I think it's slow paced because I just It was my first time.
Ah,
Right?
okay. But I'm
I think
hyped to
so.
watch,
I was still
especially the
stumbling.
Elysium. Yeah.
So-
Yeah. I'll see what we. Well, we're definitely gonna split it up. We're gonna do one and then the next. So
You
We're
got to
go-
start with getting your ass beat in Polytopia versus me, my guy. That's got to like you got to give that game its paces. Just one, Come on.
I'm willing to put in the reps. If you are there on time, I will play you.
If you learn it, it'll be fun. Maybe you might actually like it because it's it's a strategy game and you don't have.
I
any
will
of
play
those yet.
anyone, any game, anytime, as long as I have the game.
Right.
Let's run it. All right.
You got enlisted?
Thank you.
So
What's
for the
that?
next 5 days, I won't be around much. I
No.
am going to the city. So if I'm able to get away from my my tour group at all, I will pop in if I can.
I'd love
But yeah,
that.
I'm going to be in New York City for 5 days. So
New York, New York.
New York.
Say
New
hi
York.
to Zohran Mamdani.
You better believe it. If I see that guy, you better believe I will, because I don't know, he's something.
He's definitely got an interest. I'm warming up to him. I thought he was just a charlatan. I thought he was just a joker. I'm still cautious. I'm cautious, but I'm warming up. I'm warming
Yeah.
up to Zohran Mamdani.
Cautiously optimistic about that one.
I'm newly optimistic after this thing
Yeah.
with the pied-à-terre. Pied-à-terre.
Yeah. Well, that and
Pied-à-terre.
I want to root for him because of his heritage. So
Oh, racialism. Just
I'm
right when
telling
Steve
you.
goes away, you probably.
Nationalism, not racism. Nationalism.
Isn't that a bit racialist? I don't. Remember Ali G? He used to always say, Isn't that a bit racialist, mate?
Should
as
do
far-
racism.
According to
Yeah.
Steve, aren't we all white though? I mean, he says that Iranians are white. So
Everyone's white that Steve likes, that they're white. The
Yeah,
user
exactly.
Mac, who knew you'd have so many Mainer friends, Sky?
Mina.
Maina. I never
Maina.
knew. I never thought. How would I be able to predict that I would have so much in common with my Mainers, my Maina.
Especially from 3,000 miles away, yeah.
Exactly.
Oh yeah,
That-
before you
that's
go,
the beauty of the internet. Steve
Sure.
says he roots for him because he's a citizen. Go ahead, Wasteland.
yeah, you said you mentioned me a while back, but you never gave the context for it. I'm curious to hear what the context was.
For
Something
what?
about gaming in Alabama or Arkansas. Fuck, I don't remember, man. You don't understand
Yeah.
how many hours I stream. I don't remember.
Yeah.
I remember you popped up, and I was like, we were talking about you yesterday. There's something about gaming, because I was gaming, and something about the South, maybe. I don't know. I don't remember. But something about gaming. Nothing serious. Just something that was like, oh, I've got this one. I said, oh, we've got a caller. He's pretty. We got a caller, and that's like and they stream over there. They also game. I don't know. Fucking nothing.
I've
Nothing.
Do you know who I told you about Brian Craig, right?
Yes.
I prank called into a show so many times that he blocked my number.
Uh huh. Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Good times. Why are you calling him? Just to just to mess with conservative
Yeah, just to
podcasters?
mess with him, but it was something. It started basically with him like saying something along the lines of, and this was very early on, that Epstein had no co-conspirators and stuff like that, and it started from there. So like I keep calling and messing with him.
Well, Kashyap Patel said the same thing. If you believe everything the FBI tells you, then of course he had no co-conspirators. So I believe everything the FBI tells me.
Yeah.
Everything. I love the FBI guys. Hello, feds. I love you guys. I know you're listening. All right,
Where's my check, George Soros?
Yeah, I wish I had that check from George Soros. All right.
I
Thank you,
know.
everybody.
I'm still
Thank you for
waiting on
joining. I'm going
mine,
to kick you
too.
guys out.
All
Thank
right.
you, thank you
Bye.
guys.
Hope you have a
Thank you,
great
Jen.
day.
Jen, hopefully you'll find time for us in New York City. See you later, Wasteland. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you, everybody, for joining. My name is Skyjack Morgan. I'm an independent news and culture commentator, free speech and critical thinking advocate. And we had a show about it was a call-in show. How is taxation theft? We started there, but we went all over the place. Tomorrow we'll do the same thing at 1 p.m. Pacific. We'll have another Pick Your Battle show. You can come on. I want to say thank you once again to everyone who chatted, who did a super chat. DS King of Kings, the User Mac, and the User Mac, King of Kings, and I think that's it for today. Parallelish dropped a penny in the pot. Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Parallelish. Steve, what's your IQ? Thank you so much for that. I really do appreciate I really appreciate you guys supporting independent media, supporting this channel, and showing that it matters to you that we do this every day. We'll do it again tomorrow, and tonight we'll do the gaming stream. We're going to play Disco Elysium, probably Polytopia, maybe Coffee Talk, but definitely Pacific Drive. We'll do a round of each, do a bit of a variety stream. We're working on our way up to do Crimson Desert. I'm trying to save up money for Crimson Desert. We'll get there soon. May the force be with you. Illegitimate non-carborundum. Don't let the bastards grind you down, because I need you. We need each other, and the animals need us most of all. Thank you so much for being here, guys. And Godspeed, rebels. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you so friggin' much.